Welcome back to Venetian Poker Live. It is time for one of the biggest days of the summer here at Venetian Resort and Casino as we are showing you the final table of the $1,600 No Limit Hold'em Ultimate Stack, which absolutely smashed its guarantee and will award $286,000 for its champion, which we will crown on this very live stream. So make sure you don't go anywhere. Stay tuned because it is going to be one heck of a Sunday afternoon as we take you inside our streaming room. My name is Rem Korenev, Donnie Peters alongside me in the booth, and we have two headliners and also a bunch of other contenders here as the final 7 are guaranteed $53,000. Here's a look at those tournament payouts. Large pay jumps on the line today. ICM will be a factor. Who can apply the pressure? All eyes, though, will be on our chip leader, the man who's made the main event final table in the past and has plenty of accolades, which we will discuss over the course of this final table. Joe Serock coming into this final table with just shy of 18 million. And his biggest rival and nearest competitor also happens to be the second most successful player at this final table. It is Russian pro Roman Korenev, who's been a feature on final tables all over the world for the past 13, 14 years. I remember covering him way back in the day when I was on the EPT, where he always made a lot of waves, not only by his play, but also via his colorful personality, colorful clothing choices, and playing style. So, Donnie, we're in for a treat here. There is a ton of money on the line. We've got a pretty interesting final table dynamic with Serock on top.
Yeah, let's go. I want to see Serock just get after it right away. He's got the big chip lead. We know he's, of course, got the experience. He might have to sit this hand out, though, because we got a jam. But other than that, Flo's knows. Let's go, buddy.
Wondering whether he rolled up on his skateboard today.
100%. Come on. What do you mean?
No, you didn't. That would have been sick, dude. No matter what.
Not as deep as we last saw on the ladies high roller final table. Of course, Serock is plenty deep. His stack is worth north of 40 big blinds. But everyone else, you know, kind of 15 to 20-ish in that realm. Of course, white's a little bit shorter. So expect the pace of play, especially right away, early on, to just be pretty fast here. You know, players are going to probably find some good hands and not shy away from getting their money in. Shallow stacks will likely dictate that, and then if things do develop and get a bit deeper, as the the shorter we get at the table, excuse me, then maybe it slows down. I'm digging this hoodie.
Yeah, here's a look at Roman Korenev. As I said, known for a colorful way of dressing, went with the woolen sort of grandma-style hoodie with the black heart, ace of hearts, or sorry, the black ace of hearts on there. I must say, great choice. Santhanam making sure no light enters his peripheral vision with those sunglasses that make sure he stays cool. As we see heads-up action here on King, Queen, Jack with 3 spades. Man, these pots will grow fast. The numbers are big. We're playing 200K, 400K blind, so 1.2 million in the middle does not mean there's lots of big lines at risk. There just means that the stakes are already very high. By the way, shout out to everyone watching right now on this lovely Sunday. I know that the summer action in Vegas is reaching its peak. This event amidst a stretch of tournaments all across town, bringing out the best of the best, bringing out the dreamers, bringing out those hoping to perhaps parlay a single buy-in into life-changing money. And it's an honor to be back on the show. I've not been around much. Donnie has been keeping the action going. Shout out to Tristan Wade as well, Kevin Gerhardt, who've been joining the booth over the course of the many streams that we're fortunate enough to do. Shout out to my baby, little Teddy today, 1 month old. I'm back in the grind as we look at the chips in play. The browns 25K, the orange 100K, and the stellar-looking mint color chips. Donnie, shout out to Venetian. Those mints are mint, might I say.
The Venetian tournament chips are arguably the best in the industry. I've been thinking about this the other day. There should be a award for best tournament chipset.
Yes, I love that.
Be great, right?
Yeah, and even across properties, Donnie. I have properties where I like one set, but I hate the other. Like
Yeah,
it's not universal. Liu moving all in here for 5.5 million. He's coming into this hand with 13 bigs. He is the second shortest stack. Patrick White, the only stack shorter, sitting on 4.2. Joe Serock in the tank with ace-jack of spades.
5 million.
Yeah.
I play with Lou quite a bit around town. Absolute blaster.
500.
I mean, he's got 9s here, but other than that, absolute blaster.
I have to eat my words, by the way, Donnie.
Yeah.
Lou, a World Poker Tour champion, actually has more in career earnings than Roman Korenev.
5.575.
A whopping 3.6 million to his name.
5,575.
I got it. I
Okay.
told you.
Well then. Well,
Look at this, Donnie. Serock with the ace-jack into the muck, and White finds aces. Boy, oh boy, what a clash. Hand number 3 at this final table, and we've got action immediately.
How in the world did Serock just get out of the way?
That is not even possible.
I don't know how that's real.
So Patrick White, the shortest stack, risking it all with aces. And of course, you know, Lou doing nothing wrong here. He's got 13 bigs, he's got 9s. He's going to go for it. O'Donnell with the beautiful looking king-queen suited into the muck.
Holy moly.
And Serock probably doing cartwheels now as he got away from potentially tripling up
You
White.
just know the flop's going to be Jack 10 high. Close to
Jack
what?
10 in the muck, King Queen in the muck, Ace Jack in the muck. Lots of premium holdings involved in this hand, but it's going to be a mono showdown as White has his tournament life on the line. But he is the dominating factor here with pocket aces, and we see Queen 8-3 roll off. Liu looking for a 9 and a 9 only. King on the turn. King Queen would have given O'Donnell 2 pair.
3 of hearts to make me feel better.
River card. The deuce of diamonds, and White will double up to 9.4 million. Liu left with just 1.4 million.
4.2, okay, guys?
Hindsight being 2020. Serock, clever to get out of the way. O'Donnell would have busted 2 players. I love me some hindsight.
No call.
Yeah, like 150K.
Shut up.
Patrick White out of New York, retired iron worker.
I could sleep tonight.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, of course. Get aces.
Shout out to the chat. Jason Zambricki, thank you for checking in. Tobias says, Remco, we did 2022 WSW vlogs back. Wow, that's a deep cut. Appreciate you guys for all the love. If you do enjoy the coverage,
care how much
please
it was when they were counting, did you?
hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as we look at the Patrick White bio from Pearl River, New York. That sounds like a
4.2.
fake place that's used for movies, Pearl River. It's almost too perfect. Poker rival Donnie, Brian Green. Would have been fun if had Brian Green at this table.
Oh, heck yeah, let's go. He did say in his bio sheet that if he wants to play heads up with anyone,
But, at the
he would
same
pick
time,
Brian Green.
Yeah, of course.
Is that like a friendly rivalry? Or is that like actual hate?
Or maybe that's his way to pay the mortgage bill.
Hey, you never know.
If you got the edge on someone, you might as well try and get into the action versus them.
I can't believe Serock folded that ace-jack suited.
I mean, when Flows knows, he knows.
I mean,
Action on Korenev. Residing in the always sunny Playa del Carmen. As I mentioned, Korenev, longtime feature on the tour.
I see.
Could
Sounds good.
quantify him as a true grinder. 1 WSB bracelet under his belt, winning the marathon back in 2019. That event just finished. Multiple final tables across tours, including the World Poker Tour, the EPT, Party Poker Live in Sochi. This man has final table basically every major tour, and now he gets to try and make something happen here at Venetian. A cash today, or a win today for Korenev would be the 2nd largest score of his career. Just to put into perspective how large this event truly is, $1,600 buy-in Ultimate Stack, $1.5 million guaranteed, and a whopping $2.4 million in the prize pool. Let's go. Absolutely smashing it here at Venetian. I was talking to Joey Ingram, who had a little meetup game, and Joey was like, I was trying not to promote my meetup game too much because the room was full. The room was so full with players playing both cash and tournaments and going deep in this event. There's just so much action going on. It is pretty incredible to see. Serock come with a raise with Queen 7 and White not hesitating, calling with Jack 10, and O'Donnell finds kings. Big hands being dealt out here at the start. Oh, wow, and Liu with ace 9 decides, well, I only got 2.5 bigs. Might as well get involved here.
Imagine White ends up getting out of the way here. Jack 10 suited. Always pretty to peel this one, but not going to be
No,
calling
it's
off
4,
stacks here
5.
with it.
Yeah.
This is fine.
6, 7.
Kenneth O'Donnell shoving with
Six,
kings,
seven.
Like 8.
won the
$600
$600 DeepStack bracelet
$8.
at the WSOP back in 2023.
Less than
Largest
8,
cash
right?
of his career, 351,000.
More than that.
O'Donnell no stranger to winning.
No.
I
That
think you might be.
goes here. One of those
And look at this.
green chips goes here.
White perhaps with a little bit of
Yeah, that's
Hollywooding
fine.
here. Cannot see him get
Yeah.
involved here with Jack 10 suited, but perhaps tempted by the idea.
5, 6, 7.
No, this just needs to go
Almost-
into the mud.
Yeah, 8.2. Okay.
Burning some clock here, Mr. White. O'Donnell, by the way, from St. Pete, Florida.
1, 75.
Both a real estate investor and poker pro. Looking to acquire some serious real estate here at this final table as White takes his sweet time before Jack 10 hits the muck, and Liu now at risk of getting eliminated. Going up against Pocket Kings.
What's that? $1 million? I got a rebate no matter what.
As we await the showdown here. Welcome to all the viewers. You're on hand number 5. You haven't missed much, but Liu now at risk of getting eliminated.
It's 9, 25.
So Serock
Yeah.
made it 800. White called 800. That's why there's some additional juice in the middle here.
What did you say, go?
You're making the guy sweat over here.
You're the director now.
If Liu wins this one, he will go from 975 to 4 million, which is kind of a wild quadruple up, but he is a large underdog. And it comes ace 8-6. Oh my God. Poker never disappoints. O'Donnell now stone-faced, hoping for a king, and there it is. King on the turn.
That's penalty way.
Liu drawing dead after
Oh,
getting handed a bunch of hope
Still
and
dead.
adding insult to injury.
That's the thing.
Finds an ace on the river for trips.
I thought the
King Liu
oh.
eliminated in 7th place.
There you go.
Takes
Just a little
home
bit of emphasis there.
$53,000
Good playing with you, man.
for his
Congratulations.
efforts.
53 is not bad.
As Kenneth O'Donnell rakes in the chips,
Let's
the
go.
players
Cover you for
receive
the
not only a
monster.
pay jump, but also
I'll cover you for
just
the
need
monster.
some additional leg room here
They both
at
hold,
this
like,
final
like
table.
every aces in the deck, you know.
What a start to
The
this
ace
final
is
table.
Ace is coming, and then the king, and then another ace.
I felt it.
Trip aces.
As you can
and,
see on the screen, final 6 guaranteed 69,000 nice dollars. Up to 90K, then 6 digits for the final 4.
Big blind.
The way the chips are distributed, Donnie, Zipfel, Santhanam, and a White, all sort of in that same range. Is this the time for Serock to perhaps go a little crazy?
I would think so, but I still can't help but think about that ace-jack suited hand that he folded, and if he's going to be getting out of the way there at a spot where I think it would certainly be acceptable for him to just apply pressure to everyone else, like he could have just jammed and everyone else is, you know, you force them to wake up a hand. Now, of course, we would have known that White, yes, would have picked up aces and called, but maybe Serock's just kind of content on, you know, chilling.
I think that if you ask any of those 3 smaller stacks, would you sign for 5th place, they would probably all say yes, locking up that additional pay jump. But that's not how this game works. You got to play for it, and Santhanam makes the call here for 800K. Serock in the big blind with King 3 suited. Donnie, is this one of those GTO darlings, this kind of hand, this kind of situation?
The king 3?
Oh.
I mean, this spot, I think it's fine for Serock to just call and close the action. I think when you have someone like Korenev opening here.
Wow.
I mean, hello.
Oh my God. King and 2 diamonds for Serock, who tries to hide the fact that he is jumping for joy. Korenev with the gut shot might just give up on this right away, but Santhanam here has the queen high diamonds.
And if Santhanam here wants to check this back, yeah, so like what if a 7 comes?
Deuce on the turn. Look for Serock to now reach for chips here. Try and build this pot. Goes for some mint and some orange.
Pretty safe board overall for Serock here to continue betting. Probably would have heard from a king if there was a better king out there already.
Pretty easy for Korenev here. 800K invested. Nothing to get excited about. Santhanam, however, will think
Cocktail to get Tony
that he
coffee
has
for the morning.
some good equity here with his flush draw.
Or whiskey, whatever.
Little does he know that making this draw would be an absolute disaster. Hitting his draw here would mean him elimination, right? Like just 100%. Instead, he gets saved by the 5 of spades.
Of course, yeah.
Quick reminder here that
Gotta get
if you're
the
catching us on the Poker Go channels,
first couple.
please find Venetian Poker Live on YouTube. Brand new channel, approaching 10,000 subscribers, posting daily clips, highlights, and all that good stuff. Venetian building something truly special here on the Las Vegas Strip, committing to poker in a way that we don't see that often. So we might as well support this as well as we can here as Serock goes for 775.
What's that?
It's rare you have 500K chips.
Yeah. You'd have to be deep in a big
Small
tournament.
once again here from
I
Serock.
think.
Trying to target a hand like, let's say, 2 9s, 2 7s. If Santhanam wanted to flat those pre. I think there could have also been an argument that maybe Santhanam elects to 3-bet rip the queen jack suited. You know, even if called, probably have a fair amount of equity.
Man, you're getting good cards.
Great start so far for O'Donnell and White, both up over 4 million since play started. Santhanam down 3.3 million. The other players sort of treading water as we've seen Qing Liu hit the rail. Zipfel gets into action here, raising it up with Queen 9 offsuit. White defending with 10-8 suited, and we see Ace 8-6 with a quick check from White. Zipfel, of course, can represent that ace and knows that this will work more often than not.
That is 600.
600,000 is the bet. Continuing small, hoping to just get this thing done here.
Should certainly see White call here. Middle pair. Can be pretty good in this spot. He's got the backdoor spades as well. You could also just, you know, turn a 10, which is great.
Understandable for White to come along here. He's got that 8, got that backdoor spades going. Now makes 2 pair. Would you advise Zipfel to check here?
Yeah, he might just check back and just try and realize the equity. Double gutter now. He's going to elect to continue firing, come with a semi-bluff. And now, this bet is designed to target hands that are the 8s, the 6s of the world, right? That can be in there from the big blind, call a flop bet, yes. Now, unfortunately for Zipfel, White did happen to turn 2 pair.
I mean, Donnie, look at these body language theatrics from White.
All in.
And he goes all in after making it seem as though he's weak. What a true display of Hollywood acting as White takes it down on the turn.
And that's an issue with betting there if you're Zipfel, because should you get check jammed on, you're forced to give up your hand that, you know, you have a
So you
double
said
gutter. Now, if you have a
playing
single
for
gut
what,
shot, you know,
yeah, any
it's
sweats?
probably fine to bet fold. Should that be the case, you
Nah.
can get a little bit more
Just
aggressive.
cash.
But
Main cash, gotcha, yeah.
No.
See if I
double
can get-
gutter, I would
Good
probably
feeling.
want to try and realize that equity
Like
through to the
you,
river.
Yeah.
All right, a look at the standings here. Zipfel in trouble, betting himself down to 12 bigs. Santhanam on 14 bigs, and then a large gap between the rest. Those players probably all hoping to get down to at least the final four, which would guarantee them a $118,000 payday. Donnie, please put into context how huge these pay jumps are for these players. Of course, we're dealing with people who've been in these spots before, but still, you play for 3 long days, and now waiting 10 minutes or one orbit could be the difference between 69,000 and 118,000.
Yeah, so oftentimes you guys have heard us talk about how in these ICM situations when the pay jumps are the biggest at the final table, you make the most money by folding.
Right.
I understand for the viewers out there that is the least entertaining thing to happen, but if you're thinking about your bank account, your bankroll, your wallet, oftentimes tight is right when these pay jumps are so large.
800K here from O'Donnell. Serock in position, calls with fives. Donnie, feels though the small pocket pairs have changed a lot as far as perception with regards to how they are seen in poker tournaments, especially deep. How do we feel about a play such as this from Serock?
I think there's an argument to be made that he could have just 3-bet put this in. I mean, again, he's the big chip leader, just applying max pressure. I do agree that there is an argument as well for just calling here. O'Donnell is one of the deeper stacks at the table.
Now, once we arrive on a flop with a pair as small as this, what sort of pathway do we have to win a hand if we don't hit a set, which to me is always the concern with those small pocket pairs?
I mean, just generally just get aggressive. Just kind of keep it simple because it's so difficult to play out of position.
Well, Serock checks back, and O'Donnell with his 10, probably happy to keep this thing small. O'Donnell doesn't really have to be concerned that Serock has a king here.
No, probably would have bet a king on the flop. And we'll see what Serock does here on the turn. He's going to check it back. So I think O'Donnell is probably pretty confident overall in his hand. Now, just because you're confident that you might have the best hand doesn't mean you need to go like crazy here and start making this pot bigger. You can really just go into check call mode. Now, if he wants to get a bit savvy and fire a thin value bet, okay, kudos to you, sir. I think it'll end up just going, oh, look at this. I like it, thin.
Thin value here from O'Donnell, who gave Serock multiple chances to hit a 5.
Now, this tells me that O'Donnell is a pretty good player.
Right.
Because, like, you can easily just go check here, collect the pot. Not a big deal. Zipfel is still very short over there, so, you know, just lower down the risk. But the fact that he is seeking some thin value here, targeting hands like Serock has, these small pairs, maybe even some ace highs with the board pairing on the end. I like this from O'Donnell.
So what are we targeting here to get value from? Obviously, you know, it's easy to say 9s, 6s, 5s, but what else is out there that Serock could have?
If he's got an ace high, ace jack, ace 9 suited, you know, stuff like that.
Serock in the tank here, trying to figure out whether O'Donnell's going to show up with a, you know, some of the time an ace jack, an ace queen, or some kind of holding that has missed trying to steal this thing.
Now, I mean, so far we haven't seen Serock really ramp up the pressure, even though he is the chip leader. So it tells me that he's just kind of content on playing a conservative style to things, take things a little bit slow. So I would even include hands like maybe there's some 8s in there, you know, 9s. Obviously the 5s, 6s, 4s, like that wheelhouse that he did have is going to be in there because we saw it. But, you know, hands like 8s and 9s, maybe he's just electing to play those on the conservative side, and those are the hands that you're just trying to target there.
Shout out through the chat here. Chris says, Serock is a beast. That brings me to my next question. Who are you guys rooting for in the chat? Let me know. Let me know who you're rooting for. Perhaps you have a friend or a family member at the table. We'd love to hear about it. This show is all about the
Now
fans
it's
and the
too
players.
The craps, or the TPA or whatever they call it.
The six.
What's that?
The six.
Yeah.
Still here.
I seen
Julian
him do
in
it.
the
He
chat
was a
says,
little-
come on, little G, refuel that bankroll.
Is
Little
1.5.
G.
Oh, it
I'm,
says,
I'm glancing.
1.1
I'm glancing over the
raise.
table.
Little
One,
G
one,
is
two,
Zipfel.
Oh, Zipfel.
That's what
Yeah,
he was
it's
going
fine.
by when he was on some of our cash game shows over at the Poker Studio.
All right, so I guess
You are
little G needs a bit of a summer saver here. White making it 1.1 million. Blinds have gone up, by the way, to 250K 500, and Santhanam wastes no time. Moves all in for 5 million. Donnie, the blind steal here with the 10-8, understandable from White, or perhaps a bit too risky given the current chip dynamics?
I think it's fine, although I would have gone just a straight min raise. You know, I don't think, I know it's not that much more, but still, it's 25% more, you know, that you lose there. You could have just lost 500K. Instead, you lose 625, which all the chips add up. So I don't hate the blind steal opportunity. We haven't seen a whole ton of people like playing back at each other yet. So
Donnie, I want to just interrupt you here real quick because we got the entire Table 1 crew in the Venetian Poker live chat. Paul Gunnis in the mix, Art Parman in the mix. Even the Table 1 podcast YouTube channel itself is in the mix. I'm assuming that's
the Table 1
that's-
podcast was on my radio on my way in here today. They just dropped a new episode with
Love
Greg
it.
Merson.
Yep,
I got about 30 minutes in or so.
love it.
Yeah.
Big fan of what those guys are doing. The best poker podcast to never win a prize. I hope it stays that way because it's a good sort of way to position yourself in the underdog
Yeah, we
role.
can't let them get. You can't let them get too
no,
big.
No,
you know,
no,
they
you gotta keep them chasing, constantly. Shout out Justin Young, shout out Art Parman. Those guys do a terrific job. Go check them out as well. Hope you guys are all having a good summer. But their boy needs some help. Zipfel on 4.7 million. Got Serock with the ace-6 coming in for the raise. White, who is all too eager to play hands, makes the call with 2 5s. O'Donnell in the big blind calls with ace-jack, and we see 9-6-4, 2 spades. With some creativity, I could see any one of these 3 players win this hand.
Yeah, everyone's kind of got a piece. Like, no one smashed it. You know, Serock pre-flop raiser hit the 6, of course. O'Donnell's got the ace of spades working in his hand. White, I mean, we've seen him kind of want to get frisky. I believe White's appeared on plenty of cash game streams down to Texas, so we know he can get a bit buck wild at times. You know, he probably figures, I mean, Serock's the chip leader. Good chance he's just got high cards and maybe he's trying to push us out, so I'll call 1 here and we'll see what goes on the turn.
7 on the turn after White quickly called the bet. White now open-ended, but Serock's pair of 6 is still best. I wonder if White has something up his sleeve here in case Serock slows down, or whether he just wants to take those 5s to the river.
I think it's going to be very hard for Serock to continue here.
Patrick White, 1 million in career earnings. The majority of that coming in one single score. I should say, just shy of the majority, 457,000, his largest score to date last summer. And Serock decides to check. And look at this. White does have a plan. Comes out firing on the turn. I like this. Shut this thing down.
Can already tell White's one of those guys, if he even sniffs a tiny, tiny hint of weakness,
Yep.
he's pushing. And that's exactly what he's doing here.
Love the no hesitation there. I love when players have their mind made up, you know? Like White already knew that if Serock checked, he was going to fire.
Yeah, he was ready to go.
Serock pausing here. The issue here for Serock is that White, having flat called that raise pre-flop, basically can be given credit for any number of combinations that will sort of hurt Serock's hand.
Yeah, and him flatting pre, like he's going to be connected around this quite a bit. So this just puts a lot of pressure on Serock. You know, hands even like 9-8 suited, you know, 10-9, you know, suited if he elects to just call on the flop with those types of hands. It's just a really tough spot here for Serock overall.
I see.
Well done from Patrick White. Takes it down.
even in the
now-
case that, you know, white has, let's say, Jack 10 of spades, okay, and Serock is ahead,
Mr. White.
but still,
is that
like,
your,
that's a ton of
construction
equity that
company?
he could realize
Yes.
on the
That's all.
river. You still have to
That's
play a
business.
river against
Well,
white,
I'm
so
tired, so.
Yeah.
just a fold there
It's
from
getting old
Serock,
now.
understandable.
Torture of the poker world.
Yeah.
Donnie,
What's the other flag? I see the Irish flag. What's the other
I
flag?
think I got a Polish one,
Oh, I didn't see it.
Canadian.
Okay.
if Patrick White is not a guitarist in some band, I'd be really disappointed. He's got the look with the shades.
Maybe
and
in
the-
his former life, you know.
No,
Like,
still.
Still?
Yeah,
Still.
maybe. You know what? I'm
he's
gonna,
still drawing it out.
I'm gonna go bass player.
In the city?
Oh yeah.
Those glasses are so dark. That is
He
a
could-
bass
he
player.
Could be, you know, he could do some sax, I think.
Oh, sax. That's a great one too.
I mean, with the shades, look at him.
Rumor
Slick
has
back hair. This guy's ready to go.
Rumor has it Patrick White played the national anthem on a saxophone before cards got in the air, but we have no
Oh, no,
footage
yeah.
of that,
Yes,
unfortunately.
Yes. 1 million. You gotta make it a 1 million. I'm sorry.
Santhanam with jacks here.
1 million.
Just
And
learn.
look at White. He's just like not holding back. He wants to make something happen here.
Yeah, white with chips is going to be an absolute treat for all the viewers out there. So settle and buckle up because this guy's going to start firing.
All right, Santhanam announced a race to 3 million. There's no time to mess around here and slow play. And look at White. I mean, I think he's going to fold, but he wants to give you the impression that he's never folding. Grab the right amount of chips immediately. He's playing around with the 2 million. He would have to call. Out of position with King 9 off. Obviously, that is not a good spot to be in, and he does let it go. Donnie, for Santhanam, is there any difference in how it's perceived between making it 3 million, leaving yourself with 3 million back, or just jamming there?
I mean, that's like one of those. It's a committing raise. Maybe if some craziness happens behind me, you know, 2 people get all in, then I can get out of the way with my jacks. But for all intents and purposes, you know, he is jamming there.
Dr. Wooks in the chat says, sax or keys? Yeah, I can see him on the keys as well. You know what he kind of looks like? And people who are deep in the YouTube trenches will remember this. The guy who always goes to these like train stations and airports to play on the piano, on the communal piano. I'm going to find this guy, and I'm going to
Maybe
show
that's
it to
how
you.
Patrick White got his buy-in.
Dude, this is uncanny. You're going to laugh so hard.
Oh, yeah. There you go. That's him.
It must be him. Brendan Kavanaugh, in case people are wondering. 2.8 million YouTube subscribers. Maybe plays poker in his spare time. Who knows? Kenny Wynn in the chat says, hi, what's up? Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel.
Got a 10-9 suited on the button here for O'Donnell.
1 million.
Little G. Just waiting for a spot. Has to surrender his small blind here. Nothing there for Serock as the chips are starting to clump together a little bit. Korenev, Santhanam, O'Donnell, and White all within basically 4 big blinds of each other. Serock with a slender lead, and Zipfel by far and away the smallest stack. Misher in the chat says, I play with Patrick and Rosvedov. He plays very aggressive. Yeah, we've noticed so far, and I love it. I love that style. Just tuning in, $286,000 up top. The final 6 right now, guaranteed $69,000. Roman Korenev, one of the more experienced players on tour, has been a total non-factor so far. He's just biding his time, waiting for a good spot. Obviously, we're only 13 hands into this final table, but it is interesting to see that. So far, the action is passing him by as Santhanam gets back into action, makes it $1 million with ace-10 off.
You got 3 orange stacks?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Serock doing some accounting with Queen 10 of Hearts. Now, compared to the lady, oh wow, Serock just pulls the trigger. And is this the sort of thing we should be expecting, given the short stack of Zipfel?
Yeah, and I honestly thought that we would see a little bit more of this type of play from Serock earlier. Good spot to pounce here, of course. Even should Santhanam end up calling, you know, a lot of times he's going to have ace-king, you know, some pairs you can be flipping against, so equity will be fine for Serock there. Also, that Queen 10 does some blocking of its own to the premiums that your opponent can have.
The man from Albuquerque, New Mexico, calls tennis his hobby, but I'm pretty sure skateboarding has to be on that list as well. His poker rival, Sam Hyde, listed here on the bio sheet. Serock, of course, became a more mainstream poker name after making the main event final table, but Donnie, you and I have covered this man for basically a decade and a half.
Yeah, I mean, Serock's been everywhere. Absolutely everywhere.
Finished 8th in the main event last year.
He's the one that took out Kristen Foxen.
Oh my God! Don't remind me. It's actually funny you mentioned that. Last year was the Kristen Foxen show for many days on end, and the fans were getting some Kristen Foxen fatigue. But then the moment she got eliminated, everybody was upset that she was no longer in the tournament. They're like, "Why are you guys only showing Kristen Foxen?" And then she busted. And they're like, "Why did he bust Kristen Foxen?" By the way, shout out to Serock. Going back to his resume a little bit. His first live result, the 2007 PCA, and then cashing in EPT Copenhagen in 2008. This man has been traveling the circuit for so many years. As we see Korenev picking up an open-ended straight draw, takes one down versus White, maintaining his stack. The atypical blackjack in the chat. WTF, you fold ace-10 in that situation. I love that someone called atypical blackjack is upset about the ace-10 hitting the muck. That blackjack hand, of course, looking quite all right, but you have to...
Against Serock?
Well,
I mean,
especially given the chip situation here. ICM, a massive factor with Zipfel, as short as he is, can't be risking our stack there with ace-10.
Yeah, I think ace-10 off is a pretty standard raise fold there.
Usual suspects, greetings and salutations. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Hit that like button. We're still below 100 likes, by the way. It's embarrassing. Just want to point that out.
Listen, it's not. We're not embarrassed.
No.
You guys should be embarrassed. You're not delivering the engagement. Let's go.
Yeah, the only reason we bring that up all the time is because it is the only way for us to spread the good word and to try and expand the reach of these streams, deliver the good poker content for you for free on both the PokerGo and the Venetian Poker Live channels.
You're good to shove.
Yeah.
Serock back to his
Try to drop someone in there.
initial stack now, up to over 18 million. Zipfel has been sliding his VPIP 6%, has not made an aggressive action yet. Down 5 million chips in the process. Atypical Blackjack in the chat follows up. It says, I'm playing my first poker tournament next week. I'm just here to learn. Started playing 7 months ago. So yeah, just for some additional context for you, with these pay jumps in play, you don't want to risk your whole stack unless you have an absolute mega hand with someone else who is very close to being all in, which could secure you with a nice pay raise without having to do anything. $1 million here from Serock. Santhanam calling from the small line with Queen 10 of diamonds. He just wants to play.
He does. I mean, I think it's fine to call here. You do. Oh, I mean.
Yeah, it's fine. It's totally fine.
It's plenty fine.
Wow.
I mean, you just flop the joint when your opponent flops top.
Unbelievable.
You got a backdoor royal to come with it. I mean, could it get any better?
Santhanam, 6 million left, 3 million in the middle. This could cost Serock 6 million chips because ace-king on this board must be feeling like he's got exactly what he was hoping for. Massive cooler unfolding here on the final table.
Question of how much does Joe Serock want to come with a bet here? He went small earlier when he had the. He looks confused. He went small earlier when he had that King 3.
This.
I mean, that would have kind of worked. Would have been the odd bet.
Serock running the numbers, making sure he's got the right colors of those chips, and he bet 750. Now, game plan-wise for Santhanam, how do we get the money in here? Can we assume that Serock is very strong here? Would check raising do the trick? Oh, and he comes with 2 million right away.
I think I would have preferred just come with check call. You know, you just obviously have smashed this with the nuts. You have the backdoor diamonds as well.
And now,
I mean, if Serock has kings, jacks, king, jack, like the money's going in, right? But let's say he has ace, queen, ace 10. You know, those types of hands, I think he's probably going to be continuing on this sort of texture. So don't you want to keep those hands in?
So if we want to put a number on it, Donnie, how confident is Serock right now out of 100% that his hand is strong here? Oh my God.
I mean, this hand is not real.
Royal flush draw for Santhanam while Serock improves to top 2 pair. What a board. And Santhanam now with 4 million in front of him and 7 million behind him, and he checks.
See again. Thank you.
I mean, Serock's just going to put this in.
What an unbelievable development here. Joe Serock still live, but boy, oh boy, is he drawn slim. All the while, he probably thinks that this is a golden opportunity to make some money. As soon as he pulls the trigger, he's going to get an answer.
1.5.
And Serock goes very small. Are we going to see a double check raise?
I believe that would be a Venetian Poker Live first.
And he goes
There it
all
is.
in. The double check raise. And Serock makes the call, finding out that he only has 9% equity to win this hand. Santhanam about to become the chip leader. Serock needs an ace or a king with the ace of hearts already folded. What a disgusting setup. That's just how poker goes sometimes. Serock, however, does cover Santhanam by quite a margin, so nothing truly lost for him just yet. Santhanam sweating the river card here with 15 million chips in the middle. Zipfel probably hoping for an ace or a king also. River's a king! Oh my God! Are you kidding me? Santhanam does everything right, gets the double check raise to be paid off, and Joe Serock drills a full house on the river to reduce this field to its final 5. What a hand. One of the hands of the summer.
I have never seen a hand like that where every single street got more and more and more dramatic. That was outrageous.
Santhanam collecting $69,000, and while that number sounds nice, he will not be happy as he walks over to the cage. The final 5 guaranteed 90K. Little G with the pay jump while sitting on just 6 big blinds. Joe Serock detonating on Santhanam here. Oh, you got to feel for this guy. What a river card. And we're down to 5, just like that.
I thought it was crazy when he flopped the joint and Serock flopped top. Then I was like, okay, this is wild. The fact that Serock turns top 2. And then that river card? What the heck, man?
Look at the chips right now. Serock on 27 mil.
Do the right thing. Do the right thing.
You know I'm good.
He's got 42% of the chips in play. Ladies and gentlemen, you better buckle up. We might be in for the Joe Serock show now that he's got a monster chip lead. Oh, that woke the chat up. Hello. Welcome, everyone.
Oh my goodness.
Sounds good.
I can't believe what we just witnessed. I honestly cannot believe it.
Donnie, I've been away from the action for a little bit. Is it
Welcome back.
Is it always like this?
No, never like this. It's never like that. That's for sure.
Dare I say, not like that.
Not like that.
Oh my God. A heroic taxi driver in the chat says, nothing funner than runner.
Were all my aces and kings live, or did he have some sort of straight flush?
No, they were all live.
Okay.
This is ace and king diamonds round.
Donnie, was the ace of diamonds was already out there, right?
You ain't
Yeah,
folding
the ace and the
anyway.
king of diamonds
Right.
are on the board.
Yeah. White just limp in with deuces here.
Which is just something you never see at a fountain table.
Donnie, you want to gonna try and flop a set here, okay? I'm just saying. Zipfel getting a nice price here. Serock probably wondering what the heck is going on here with the under the gun limp. Not a common sight. Yeah, Serock probably just happy to check here. All right. I was going to say, if Zipfel flops anything, we're going to see him jam here. And with Jack-9, he's got something, but is White going to try to represent this? Would he ever limp big cards?
See, that's the thing. It's like you get to the flop and you say, oh, that should be me. Right, because these guys are in the blinds. But then if you think back to how the hand developed pre-flop, I mean, isn't anything on there you're raising?
Exactly.
Like king, queen, king, jack, ace, king, even ace, queen. Like, you have to have, like, 9-10 suited maybe, but even that he's raising. He opened Jack-10 suited earlier. Like, so I mean, I know this is awful for Zipfel to be in the situation. Is Zipfel supposed to go with it here because more often than not, White will be in there with small cards?
Tough to have trips there.
Or is it too risky?
it's kind of both. I would have
9-9.
not faulted him for thinking it through and being like, you know what, I just don't think that this guy has it. And I'm going to go with it. I mean, he's just so short.
Yep.
Like, as you said, you know, going to the flop, if he connects with anything, the money's probably going to go in there.
Zipfel down to 4 big blinds on the button now. He's going to get a few free hands here as O'Donnell finds pocket eights. Boxer J says, poker is so cruel. Paul Gunnis says, holy pay jump.
On.
And here goes Zipfel with ace-5, and he will get looked up here. Once White gets out of the way with queen-7, it's going to be up to O'Donnell to make the call here.
950.
Oh, look at this. White's going to be like, you know what? Let me get a piece of this. Action now back on O'Donnell. And look at White just committing just shy of 2 million chips from the big line with queen-7. He just doesn't want to be left out.
White is great. He's a total wild card in his play. You love to see it.
And is O'Donnell now thinking of the ISO shove here?
I mean, I don't think he's ever folding, right? So I think he is debating between, do I want to jam this or do I just call and play it in position? I think I lean just call. Eights will play fine post. I lean that O'Donnell is also comfortable in his own play, that he can just call. And I say that going back to that thin value bet earlier.
And here
he
we go.
does jam.
All in announced, and White burns some chips here as O'Donnell reads the situation correctly.
Your ATM.
Good luck.
Wonderful stuff here from O'Donnell as Zipfel will happily take the chance
I was just trying to.
at some additional chips.
And this is good news for Zipfel because
Absolutely.
Yeah.
he can triple up now, but he's only got to go against one person.
Massive spot here for Zipfel, 6.6 million in the middle. Winning this would make him a real contender.
As long as there's an 8 on the flop.
Ace on the flop.
Need a snowman.
The drama continues here at this Ultimate Stack final table.
I'll give him this.
Zipfel takes the lead.
It was big.
Turn is the Jack of Hearts. O'Donnell down
Nice,
to
nice.
an 8 and an 8 only to reduce this field to 4.
Gracious of you.
River card, the 3 of spades, and Zipfel back in the game with the triple up. Got a lot more than he asked for. But now he, fairly close to O'Donnell, and the dynamics of this final table will change.
So is there a watch party over at
The
table
much
1 right now? Is
needed
like that what these guys are doing?
There better be.
Ace jack,
Right?
Yeah.
There better
I was
be.
drawing dead. Unless you went all in.
Yes, yeah. Thank you.
From Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Zipfel
How much did you have?
looking for that summer
1.95.
saver.
I mean, how much does he need to save?
Well, according to the Table 1 chat, he needs it badly.
Well, he's down to 5. He's guaranteed 90K. So I mean, how bad has the summer been?
Donnie, you know how this goes sometimes.
Oh, yes, I'm well aware. Not personal experience, but just being in the industry for so long.
By the way, on Zipfel's bio sheet, his plans for the money, and I quote, "Go get my money back from the Table 1 donkeys."
There you go. Shots fired. Y'all are just a bunch of donkeys over there.
The reason the Table 1 guys are chirping in the chat is because they need some extra blood to come join them.
Yeah, but if he's getting buried in the game, aren't they? You know, don't tap the fish tank. You know, just
Well, they're just rooting for him to win some so he can get some reloading chips.
Where is 1 million?
Mr. Art Parman in the chat says he needs to get seconds to get even on the summer. Boy, oh boy, we got some pay jumps ahead of us here.
Kid is back.
We're back, baby.
Might be time for some ultimate poker to
Now we ride.
go for the real big parlay after this one.
I did not know Jason Zipfel, you know, played tournaments at all. I thought he just probably popped into the cash game. So what I want to know is, did they break him so much over in the cash game and he was like, I'm going to play a tournament. Like, the heck with this.
Yeah, Art told him the cash game buy-in is 10K. You do not have enough to sit down, sir. There's a $1,600 tournament going on at the Venetian. Maybe you can win your way back in.
I love it though. That's the best part about the summer. You just get buried. Whatever. One tournament, you're back. You're right back in the game.
Korenev has been quiet.
Oh.
Limps in on O'Donnell's big blind, King 5 and Ace 6 here,
Hopefully the guy
potentially
does well.
tangling. Eight, 5, 3, 2 hearts. Korenev pairs his 5. A little glance to verify those suits. Korenev's going to lead. It'll be okay to just take it down right here on the spot. O'Donnell gets sticky, makes the call. 4 on the turn. O'Donnell now open-ended.
They have a very good turn card here for Korenev.
Right.
And Korenev now pair and flush draw. Action does go check, check. River card, Queen of Clubs. Now, if you're Korenev here, Donnie, backing into a hand this strong, do we often check, hope to induce?
I think once you see a check back on the turn on a double flush draw board, has straight draws possible as well, then it would tell me that O'Donnell is looking more to get to showdown versus trying to put money in the pot. So that said, I like betting my own hand. Probably go around 1 million, 1.5-ish here. Try and target in 8, some sort of 5. I know I do have a 5, but you know, target one of those.
And Korenev is going to do his own betting with 2.5 million in the middle. Comes with 1.65.
Nice.
And Korenev drags one of the first real hands that he's won today, and that brings him back to his starting stack. Korenev seeming like a man on a mission as someone, I guess, sits on their microphone or something. My ears just got a little rattled.
Raise to 1 million.
I think it was someone's phone, perhaps, causing some interference, but we're back. We are back. Oh,
Heads up.
White gets involved again, this time raising to 1 million with 7-5 of diamonds.
30.
This guy just wants to create some chaos. Zipfel defended from the big blind with King 9 suited. When he watches back at this final table, he'll realize that White is just trying to make something work with any kind of hand.
That's it. That was good.
Thank you.
And White, who limps with deuces, raises with 7-5, will for sure treat the ace-jack like pocket aces. Zipfel with ace-10. Oh, man. This might be trouble here with the weaker ace.
Yeah, pretty decent ace. You know, he obviously has not seen a lot of good hands this entire final table. Also have to factor in that the player opening is
Oh,
a bit on the wild side.
And Zipfel moves all in. We've seen White get involved with lesser holdings than this.
How much?
I mean, it is more than half of White's stack. So
That's true.
don't think that this is just entirely automatic here.
So White tanks whether he calls or folds, so this is not really saying much at this point, but given his playing style, I just cannot see him folding.
350.
Paul Gunnar said, someone tell White seat open at table 1. He does play cash. I'll tell you that much. He does play cash.
Is that right?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Serock just making sure that
3.
no one
Yep,
gets
yep.
shortchanged.
350.
6,350.
And White deciding for
Can't count.
more than half of his stack here with ace-jack.
You were trying to bet 75K before, you know.
Yeah.
Is he going to do it, or is he going to let this one go?
Well, there's been 6 different pump fakes in either direction so far.
White has cut out the chips, trying to see how much he'd be left with if he calls and loses. Oh!
Oh, look at that. And he
Ace.
shows it.
Ace-jack in the muck, Zipfel. All you have to do is show the ace-10, and White might go crazy, but instead he just gracefully takes this one down and probably celebrates on the inside here because that's a massive pickup here for him.
So you and I have some experience with white on streams, you know, stuff out of Texas, stuff like that.
Yep.
Had Jason been more aware, he might have shown the ace-10, right? To
Yes.
kind of get him to tilt off a little bit there.
See?
You know,
He
but
does that
you know,
right
you see this tournament or this player in a one tournament
You're
setting,
stubborn.
you don't necessarily know all that sort of stuff. So,
Although you are.
but it
you know,
would
my
have been
lifeline.
a great opportunity to show that ace-10.
All right, we're back on Korenev here. Hand 24
Raise it.
of the final table.
Just got to keep making you healthier and healthier. You
Yeah, but I mean, as long as you stay up, you know, you take.
know? Yeah, that's the problem. That's not that.
Korenev makes it a million.
We'll let you win a couple and you know get pumped up a little bit.
I feel like everyone's been involved in massive pots, and Korenev is trying to sort of, under the radar, maintain his chip stack and ladder up a few spots. Here's a look at Korenev's bio. His poker rival, Bill Perkins. We'd love to hear the backstory of that.
What is that about?
His pet peeve is stalling. Well, we haven't seen any of that here at this final table. It's been a good one so far. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. My name is Rem Korenev. Donnie Peters in the booth with me. What an entertaining final table it has been so far. If you're just tuning in, it's not a bad idea to go back and catch the start of this thing.
Mullen.
All in.
And here goes
All in.
O'Donnell moving all in. And oh, how the tables have turned. Zipfel now with plenty to just fold and be patient.
Button, good.
Price of poker is going up after the Senate.
Price of poker is
That's where I shine.
pretty high already. I will say both
You've been shining for 3 days.
both formats, Donnie, can
is the
please me
important
in a
one.
different kind of way. You know, the deep stacked format of the ladies event created some interesting tensions at the table. The more, I guess, aggressive nature of this structure also creating some good spots.
Yeah, I mean, I think largely the aggressive nature, you know, plays into it, of the structure, I should say. These guys are shallower. You know, that ladies high roller event was pretty deep the entire time, so understandable that they were playing a little bit more methodical and calculated. Here, I mean, these guys are just a bunch of animals, just getting after it.
You're like 8,
Okay, thank you.
6, 7, 8. Ooh, got that.
All in. All in. Players all in.
And Korenev comes over the top. White again involved with 7-5 suited. Something tells me that's his favorite hand, 7-5 suited. It's the second time we've seen him raise with that hand.
1.2-ish. Or 12.
Any amount is too much.
Yeah, exactly.
11-6.
I mean, once you see all those greens over there, you know, one stack of oranges, the 7-5 is just in the muck, man.
That's good, that's good. He's got me covered.
I swear 7-5 is his favorite hand.
Breaker or
It
playing?
has to be.
Guess we're playing?
We're playing, yeah. They said the breaks were going to stay true.
Oh.
Lines up now to 300, 600.
600K is my blind.
What's that?
600K. I like the 6.
Yeah.
6 is good. 5, 6, good.
I can do the math, figure out how many blinds I have at 500. 600 is a lot more difficult.
Yeah, I mean, you're already doing more than I do.
Serock back to it here. King 3 off.
1.2.
Sort of the first chance he's had to raise in about an orbit, so He's just going to keep applying that pressure. And don't forget this, the pay jump right now is $28,000, going from 5 to 4. 90K for the final 5, 118 for the final 4. This is a big spot for everyone, especially O'Donnell, Zipfel, and White with very similar stacks here as we played 300, 600. The shortest stacks have 11, 12, and 13 big blinds respectively. Korenev with 22, and then Serock with 44. Donnie, given the positions at the table of the shorter stacks, whose chances do you like the most?
Well, I mean, I'll throw out Serock, and I'm going to look at, just because he's got such a big chip lead, I just don't take the favorite. But Korenev and O'Donnell, I like. Now, Korenev, of course, has a bit more chips, but his play's super solid. Hasn't really gotten too involved. You know, he's kind of, you know, poked around a little bit, thrown a little jabs here and there, but hasn't really gotten too wild. A lot of the other players have just been kind of willing to get their money in. And I like what I've seen from the play style so far for O'Donnell. This is a big spot here.
Big spot here for Serock indeed. Ace-Jack suited in the big blind. Serock weighing his options here.
All in.
And he moves all in. White put under pressure, but no hesitation this time around. Ace-Queen dominating Ace-Jack, and with 17 million in the middle, Patrick White with a real chance to become basically tied for the chip lead with Serock if his Ace-Jack holds up.
A lot of red cards.
Huge spot
Two
here
red flop.
for everyone at the table.
Of hearts.
I can think of a few
I'm
players
indifferent on what suit.
rooting
I
for a
think you guys
jack.
are.
Good luck.
Yeah, I know you don't mean it. $29,000 pay jump.
All right, here
That's
comes the
poker,
flop. Massive pay jump on the line. White at risk, and it comes King 4-4.
Pretty red.
About as safe as it gets. No diamond draw for Serock either. Looking for a jack and a jack only. 10 on the turn gives him some outs here, but it actually reduces his chances because now he's looking for a queen and a queen only.
With the tournament allow
Can be a
Both
heart.
want red.
It's the king on the river. And look at that, we chop it up.
tournament allow that?
Oh my God, I didn't even think of that.
Red, black for stacks where both guys are.
That is,
So the pot was chopped.
that is gross. That is just gross.
Bet on a red and black. And it was black. Here you go.
Oh, actually,
And
chip.
both good balls.
That
were
is
fighting
so
for
gross.
the color that was less like.
That's your chip. Oh, actually.
No, we
yeah,
gotta
you're
change.
Right, you're right. Yeah, we gotta
So-
change that one. I'm sorry. There you go. 450 and 450.
Okay.
One's good.
I think I lost money on that.
He was the big one. He lost one.
On the turn, it can't even be a heart for the chop. It's
Korenev remaining patient. King Queen here for Serock in the small.
1.5.
Applying that pressure on White, who might be trigger happy.
Uh-oh.
Just learned the lesson last time.
No,
I mean, there's a lot of lesson learning at this table. No.
Very quick call from White. Really didn't give this any thought other than just quickly making the call.
9-9 deuce. Nothing there for White. Let's see if Serock continues with aggression here. Serock comes with 800,000. And white is just full of spirit and creativity. Makes the call almost right away.
Got to be worrisome there if you get called that quickly for Serock.
Now, Serock 80% to win this thing, but we've seen this scenario before. If Serock checks, are we going to see the snap bet from white again? I think we will.
Yeah, it's just a matter of how fast will white be betting if he gets checked to.
I think it'll be instant. Well, Serock, instead of surrendering here, or at least slowing down, he decides to take one more stab at this. Come with 1.6 million. And look at white again, reaching for chips. This man is so unpredictable. I cannot imagine him going at it again. Oh, he makes the call. What is he up to? That is the major question here. Committing half of his stack with King Jack high, there must be a plan here for the river.
There might not be.
If I'm Serock, I'm scared right now. There is no way that white thinks his king high is good here, right? Because if he checks back, he's going to lose, and Serock is going to be blown away by the way this hand played out. Like, what is Serock supposed to do here? Is he going to put white on like a sort of a naked flush draw? Is white ever going to have ace high where Serock has to keep betting? What kind of showdown value could white have here with the third 9 coming on board? There's so many questions unanswered here.
I mean, I would have expected a hand like a King Jack suited to 3-bet rip here. Even some of the ace highs. I mean, maybe Serock just wants to come with like a block of 1.2 million.
He checks. Now is, I mean, I don't even know what to say. White has the action on him. Checking would be a disaster. Oh my God, he does it! This guy is unbelievable. Patrick White calls twice with king high and then finds the bet on the river. Joe Serock stunned.
He's like looking at his cards over there. He's got them like off the table. He's looking at them.
What is happening here? Patrick White with the casual sip of the coffee. And Joe Serock left wondering, what does this guy have?
I mean, I think Serock is thinking right now, ace highs, probably 3-bet jam with me raising from the small blind, him in the big blind. Pairs, also probably 3-bet jam. So, like, is this just like Jack 10 of spades, like Jack 8 of spades, you know, like those types of hands?
Joe Serock, a non-believer, so it seems, but what does he beat here? If Joe Serock makes this call, this is going to be the hand of the summer.
We've already had the hand of the summer.
I mean, it's going to be number 1. Also, we cannot understate the fact that Serock and White may have additional history prior to this final table. So who knows what Serock has already seen from White, leading him to be in the tank here with King Queen high. And he's trying to make sense of it, and it doesn't make any sense. What an unbelievable hand, but he just cannot do it. Is White going to show this? Nope. All business. Just raking it in, getting the river bluff through. What an unbelievable hand. One of my favorite hands I've seen in a long time.
This has been a great final table. Tremendously entertaining.
Let us know in the chat if you are entertained.
Man, if Serock would have called, I'm not sure we would have heard from Patrick White ever
I
again.
would've showed it.
So you didn't have quads?
No.
But you did have
Well,
trips.
you
Good
want to
news
show a
for you.
bluff?
If it was a bluff, you'll know in like 20 minutes.
3 nines, queen kicker.
Wow. And with that hand, White up to 12.6 million. The short stack battle now between O'Donnell and Zipfel. This final table has been great. This has been awesome. Patrick White
1.5.
making it happen.
Where's the 1.5?
Goes to 1.5. Korenev 10-6 offsuit, nothing to go on here, and White wins again.
I think.
That's shorty ace. Make him feel good. It wasn't the 3-4 hearts that got you started. I had this guy all in for 300,000.
Yeah.
All he had was 300. I doubled him up.
He had the 3-4 hearts, or you had the
I had it,
You had it. So big hand.
but he only had 400,000
Yeah.
in chips. So, man, he went on some run. Next thing you know, he's got 10 million. And I'm saying, damn.
You gave me second life.
I gave him a second life. Now look at him. He's gonna knock me out probably.
King 7 suited here for Serock. Still sitting on that big chip lead, but that last hand was massive. O'Donnell now down to very few, and he goes all in with ace-9.
That's 5.
And Serock quickly lets go of the King 7. Nice pickup there. Zipfel back in the short stack position.
I would have showed it if I had it. I didn't have it.
Just ask him. He's an honest guy. He'll tell you what he has. Just ask him.
What'd you have?
See? He wants to. He's like,
I got 27. I got 25. I got 25 minutes more. And then you guys.
he struggles to not just
Two
tell
of
you.
spades gonna be my burn card. 2 of spades.
Call.
Call.
King 7 again for Serock, raising, and White just makes the call. Zipfel now, Donnie, with a shove spot, question mark?
Oof.
I think it
That's
looks
causing a lot
enticing,
of
but it's
stress.
tricky because it's against 2 players and,
Yeah,
and
bluffing
you're
does
short.
that.
So you might not think you have much fold equity there.
They say bluffing
I don't mind
you
this
breed
approach.
because you know you're not. It's when you have it that you're.
3 players. Check.
Zipfel did
Should
make
I
the
try?
call to create three-way
No.
action.
No.
And Serock now flopping top pair.
He said, can you or did you?
Can I? Can I? I can.
You cannot. No. Now you cannot.
1.1.
No shenanigans from White this time around. Gives up quickly.
No, I thought maybe it was on me.
Yeah, yeah. I see.
Thank you.
Serock regains some chips. What a final table here. Shout out Jimmy Bluffett. Thank you for being with us. Shout out to Nightbot, Jason Zambricki. Thanks for helping out, covering all the bases. Michael Martinez says, this is really good poker. White and Serock. Joe missed the third barrel there. It's all right. Let's go, Serock. Yeah, this is far from over, ladies and gentlemen. If Serock and White end up heads up, we might be in for an all-timer. O'Donnell now finds a premium. Great drawing hand there with the ace-king. RMX Indiana in the mix as well. Thank you to all of our moderators. Once again, if you are not already subscribed to the Venetian Poker Live YouTube channel, you better go and find that right now. Daily clips being posted on there as well in case you miss any of our streams there. We've got tournaments and cash games and a whole bunch more going on. And here goes Zipfel all in with the Queen 9 suited. Snap call from O'Donnell, and he's very live still.
Very, very live. Tough spot here against the button open for Zipfel. Can't fault him here for being this short and getting his money in. And he's plenty live, almost 40% here.
Suits live, both cards live. His straight draw is very live.
We could
Zipfel
a black bet now.
looking to double up again. The ace from space saved him versus O'Donnell last time. Can he find anything here to keep his hopes alive? Here comes the flop. Queen in the window. A jack and a 9 behind it. O'Donnell now with plenty of outs, but he is trailing. Percentage is flip-flop. O'Donnell now 37% to send Zipfel to the rail. Turns the 5 of diamonds. That will dramatically swing things in Zipfel's favor. 10 outs here for O'Donnell, or we'll see our next double up for Zipfel, who has been the short stack for the majority of this final table. And it's the 3 of clubs on the river. Zipfel doubles up again, and O'Donnell now down to just a few big blinds.
4.725, I want to say.
A 6-figure payday looming as the final 5 now guaranteed 90K, and O'Donnell on the brink of elimination.
5.0.
Still hoping to make it to the final 4, who are guaranteed 118K.
8, 3,
2, 4.
4, 5.
Chat going wild over little G.
So,
I mean,
Finding that queen and holding.
all you have to do is survive.
5.
right.
And he's surviving.
5.
5,050,000. So we got
That's what I got.
4.550, right?
No.
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 5 million.
2, 3, 4, 8, 5.
Oh, that's
50.
right. 5, yeah, 5,050,000. My bad.
That's all right.
Deca millionaire.
What's that?
He's a Deca millionaire.
So that's 5,050,000.
All right, Zipfel now
All right, let me do the Jason spin.
in 8-digit territory.
You got this, buddy. I'm ready.
11.3 million. Looking very comfy out there. A little look at what we have coming up July 2nd. It's time for some cash. The week after on the 9th, more cash games, and then we have the 750K guaranteed seniors event final table on July 11th. So lots of action still to come here from Venetian. Check out the full Venetian DeepStack schedule on the Venetian Poker website. You can find us on Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook, and of course on YouTube. Daily action here. Room always packed. 6 bigs for O'Donnell. Can he spin it up? Chat, let me know. Is O'Donnell going to be the next one to spin this thing?
Small one.
And here comes the shove with Jack 9.
Okay, 2, 3, 5, 3, 6,
I think it's
4 million. That's good.
Just under 4. 3.850.
Well, it's 5 million now.
All right.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Get Patrick White in every game.
Yes, please.
I'm in.
Anyone who organizes a...
Well, Brian Oaken's out there. If they're playing, we need to go out there and be like, get this guy's number.
Absolutely.
Mullen?
All in.
O'Donnell all in again, this time Queen Jack. I mean, these shoves, if they go uncalled, are so huge that they basically get you in the clear for a while here. And look at this, 2 in a row, giving him 2 additional orbits to be patient again.
Yeah, those 2 shoves gave him an additional 3 million. What a fun tournament.
Seeing the chat saying that both White and O'Donnell should be in some cash games in the future. I tend to agree. Would love to see them in some action. Maybe Zipfel can get some phone numbers.
That's close to 7.5, right? That's
Yeah, close enough.
Raise 1.2.
not a fan of this from White.
All in.
All in.
And Korenev with ace-5 suited is going to jam. A little head scratcher there.
How much roughly? 8 million, 12 million?
10 and 8.
It doesn't matter if it's 4 million. You're not calling.
10-6.
10-6, that's what I have, yeah. All right, thanks.
Amazing. Amazing stuff.
You got me covered. 10-6.
Don't think for a second that this is going to slow White down.
No! But it's incredible every time. You can really hear that New York accent coming out in White.
Love it. Love all the characters at this table. Everyone's sort of playing their own role.
Another blind versus blind battle upcoming. just walk it out.
Julian, check it down, man. We're fair.
Yeah. Keep it friendly.
I mean, I got position. I got you covered. I do the right thing.
Yeah. I don't want to get outplayed.
Unless I have aces.
Yeah.
I'll go all in.
Then I should go all in. Yeah.
Well, no. I'll let you know. I'll let you know. I'll kick you.
Yeah.
I got it.
Action back over to Korenev on the button. Ace-8.
Raise 1.2.
To no one's surprise, White the highest VPIP at this table by quite a margin. 47% here after 37 hands of play. Zipfel and Korenev, the two quote-unquote tightest players, coming in at 22% VPIP.
Thank you.
Korenev does all his work in the small pots, maintaining his chip stack, and now also able to expand it a little bit. Has not gone to showdown even once today.
Yeah, I was just thinking, you know, he's been able to do pretty well today. I mean, I would say even just surviving with all the kind of wackiness that's been going on is doing pretty well without really getting into any big confrontations. You know, he's just been quietly over there, pops his head in here and there, maybe a 3-bet jam, maybe a raise, you know, but nothing too confrontational for him. O'Donnell's getting after it here. Queen 6-0 on the button. Okay, sir.
I mean, on the button, you only have to beat 2 players.
How much?
It's 5-3-7-5. 2,
No,
3, 45,
Serock's not full.
5.
Yep.
No, sorry. 5-3-50.
5.350.
Go on,
Call.
And look at this, Serock makes the call with the dominating king-queen.
6 burger.
Good luck.
Thanks.
11.5 million in the middle. O'Donnell's going to be scratching his head, probably thinking, man, I could have waited for a better spot. But as the short stack, he knew that it was time for him to accumulate. Now he needs a 6 to keep his hopes alive. And instead we see deuce, deuce, 10. O'Donnell looking for a 6 and a 6 only. Very narrow pathway to survival here. 5 of diamonds on the turn. Doesn't change a thing. O'Donnell down to his final 3 outs.
Not looking good.
You gotta believe.
Let's see the river card as we try to find out if O'Donnell can survive this. It's a 6 on the river! The drama continues.
We should have expected it at this final table.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
The ultimate stack continues to deliver as O'Donnell escapes and finds a 6 for survival. This has been a wild final table.
3,050,000. 5.3, 50,000.
Sounds good. I played the shit out of that hand. I played that good.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. The censored one in the chat says, remember, boys and girls, this is all skill. All skill, baby. O'Donnell still in the hunt here. Korenev thinking, I might as well be careful because these guys are crazy. Zipfel taking his turn on the button to come in with the raise. And white finds ace-jack. I was going to say every single action would be something I would understand here. Could have seen him re-raise, but instead he makes the call. Here's the flop. Oh my God, disaster for Zipfel as both players hit a jack. Zipfel probably figuratively rubbing his hands together at the prospect of winning one here off the most aggressive player at the table. This is going to turn into quite the cooler as white has the better kicker with his ace. Call is made. Can only imagine that perhaps a heart could save Zipfel from going broke here. And heart shows
and there's
up.
a heart. I feel like ultimately it's just going to be bad news for Zipfel. Oh, look at that. He does find the check back. Well done.
River brings the 4 of diamonds. And look at this. Ferocious.
Snap. I mean, he was reaching for his chips before the river card was fully dealt.
I want to call him the Great White.
75,000.
The Great White Shark. Patrick White just showing his teeth. Betting 3 million on the river here. The vast majority of Zipfel's chip stack here. I mean, Donnie, if you're Zipfel here, how can you possibly fold?
Well, I don't think you can call as well. I mean, hearts get there. There are going to be some 2-pair combos that white can certainly have from the big blind. He can have all the 5s. You know, if anyone's got a 5, it's going to be white in this spot. So I think Zipfel is going to be able to get away from this one. I mean, it doesn't feel good. You really haven't had much to work with the entire day at this final table. You end up flopping top pair, good kicker, but just the way this one was broke hasn't been in your favor. So I think he'll be able to find it if he thinks this one through.
And the call has been made. White shows ace-jack and wins a massive one. Zipfel losing the majority of his stack and again finds himself on the ropes.
3.1.
Brutal,
Nice hand.
cooler, if you will. Both players with top pair in the shorthanded situation, and White now up to 15.6 million, approaching the chip lead as Zipfel is down to 4.4.
Now that hand, I don't think Zipfel
No, thank you.
We're on break.
thought that White would turn over.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you.
7-6, some sort of 5 hearts. Okay, I get it. But ace jack.
Right.
What do you think you got now in chips?
I don't know. Fuck, I don't know. I'll stack up a minute. Not enough to knock you out.
Well, that's good.
Zipfel here with the shover. The ace-8 suited.
I mean, like, physically?
All in.
Good luck, brother.
Thanks.
Zipfel all in, and White with king's hand of diamonds. I can see him get tempted here for 7 big blinds.
Oof.
I'm alive.
See you later. There's a gift.
Oh, baby.
I had the best card in the deck.
You're ahead.
If you're just tuning in, you're down to the final 5. We're all guaranteed
King 10 of
$90,000.
You know, it's just pretty.
Top 4 will
And
receive
then the 4 million
118.
was attractive.
We go up to 157, 211, and a whopping $286,000 up top. This event smashed its guarantee. $2.5 million in the prize pool. 41 hands now into the final table.
No, I know. 1, 2, 3.
Action on Serock now with 6s.
15.
Thank you.
And with the stack sizes as close as they are now, caution is needed for all these players.
Call.
Call.
Call. 3 players.
King deuce 7, 3-way action here. So Serock made a 1.2. Both White and Korenev came along.
$800,000.
That's it.
Call, call, call.
And Serock, Donnie, probably for the first time today, gets the bet and no resistance.
Right back up over 20 million for flows. He always looks very curious.
I was going to say he looks like he is a suspect of whatever his opponents are doing. Korenev, queen 9 off.
1.2.
Given O'Donnell's prior play, I'm surprised to see him throw ace-8 in the muck, obviously influenced by the short stack of Zipfel.
Yeah, I think it's just that. Zipfel falling pretty short once again, so O'Donnell's not going to want to get involved, try and get that ladder.
Ten 8. Korenev back in action after Zipfel checks. Hands are tied here for Zipfel, who was hoping for at least some kind of connectivity here. Once again, welcome everyone to the show. It's been quite the show already. I will say, Donnie, I've been away for a bit, but this has to be one of the more entertaining final tables of the summer so far.
By far. By far.
We are streaming this thing until a winner is known, and that winner will collect $286,000, so massive pay jumps on the line. And O'Donnell now with a conservative approach, not wanting to tangle until Zipfel either doubles up or is eliminated. And he jams the queen deuce. Serock looking down at queen deuce as well. This is going to work. We are live right now, coming at you from Venetian. Located on level 2 at the Palazzo Grand Canal shops if you want to stop by. We are on a, I want to say we're on a 50-minute delay right now. So please come into the room, take a peek through the glass, perhaps take a seat yourself in one of the many cash games or tournaments that are ongoing as we speak. So level 2 Grand Canal shops at Palazzo, the brand new Venetian poker room, opened just last year. Blinds go up every 30 minutes. We are on 300K, 600K.
Raise 1.2. Heads up.
9 deuce 5 2 hearts. White versus O'Donnell. Aggression versus aggression. Let's see who takes this one.
No, it's good, it's good, it's good.
Oh, look at this. White
You had me at a low.
putting up no resistance.
Screw it. Is that what you said?
No, I said it's good. It's
Oh,
good.
it's good. Got you. Yeah.
All right, players are
We're on break, right?
Yeah, have a break, Chris.
going to take a little break here. All right, we'll be back in about 15 minutes for continued coverage of this final table. 5 left. Much more action still to come here, as it's been one heck of a roller coaster already. Joe Serock still on top, Korenev still in second. If you look at these counts, you might think, oh, nothing has really happened, but boy, oh boy, have we seen many crazy hands already. Zipfel, coming back from break, will be looking to double up quickly, or else he will be our 5th place finisher. We'll see you in 15 minutes. Thanks for watching. Don't go anywhere. Open on the button with Jack 10 of hearts.
Beautiful hand to squeeze here. You get some raise folds. You get some hands that you're in pretty good shape against to call, and then you also have the range advantage. Here we see the king jack suited just make a cold call out of the blinds. So it's going to have the jack 10 suited dominated, but Oaken will be in position. And Was,
Call 6,000.
the 6-9-0, an infamous hand in poker. Just because of the value of the cards, Remco, nothing else there.
I was trying to think, what am I missing here? Jack 6 deuce, King Charles with a beautiful flop here, top pair, and the spade draw. Wasserson, by the way, and Sebas still in search for a squid button, along with Oaken.
All
And look at this. Oaken just moves all in for 30,000 with Jack 10,
Call.
and King Charles doesn't hesitate.
I guess I can't call. Maybe bet
Twice?
10.
Wasserson obviously
Oh,
gets out of the
that's not
way.
good.
Worst
That
case
is
scenario
not
for
good.
Oaken, and the 2 10s have already been
I
folded.
knew I had the middle card pre-flop.
84,000
yeah,
in the
JRB
middle.
folded the 10 of clubs, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, okay, I didn't even notice that, but wow.
King Charles in a terrific
So
spot.
drawn to a chop, it looks like he needs an
Oh, is that
ace
king jack of
and
spades?
a
Yeah.
deuce or a
Yeah.
six.
Oh,
Yeah,
good. Oh,
he needs 2 pair on board. Or
more.
Twice.
More. He's got
Twice,
2
yeah.
outs
We're going
over.
twice, yeah.
80-20.
You got 2 outs?
I mean, this game over for Oaken on this
2
hand.
outs, it could
two,
be.
2 10s only. As long as no spade. As long as no 10 of spade.
Who's coming ace?
Are you okay?
Oh no, even that is no good. What am I talking about?
He's at 80%.
And that's
And
it.
that's it.
I knew I was going to
Brian Oaken is going to lose this $84,000 pot, and King Charles
Get more than 30, right?
also winning
Yeah,
3 hands already during the squid game
Alright.
here. That's adding up quickly.
He's cooking.
He is cooking. 15K in the middle. Peter maybe regretting just calling now. 7-7-4 on the flop.
Peter with the best hand still, but can he find a way to get to showdown and actually win this, or is someone going to be betting and bluffing? Sebas with the betting lead kind of has an awful flop for his hand. No backdoors. Against 4 players, he's still going to find a continuation bet.
Well, at least Peter is not giving up right away, which is good to see.
Yeah, good point, Remco. If you are going to slow play ace-king and you get these kind of flops, you still have that equity of maybe having the best hand and the possibility of turning an ace or a king still to make the best hand.
Yeah, you know what the sick thing is that the way this hand plays, Sebas is the most likely player to have an ace, so he might try and represent that right now, which could, of course, lead to this pot bloating up even further.
Absolutely. That's exactly it. He's the most likely one to have an ace-king, ace-queen, pocket aces, and he has nothing. He has dust, queen high, so obviously he has to bluff this turn card. And Peter, slow playing ace-king is going to work out maybe for the max here if he can find... Now, the problem here is Sebastian's bet big, right, 11K. Now, whatever, it's not a big bet. It's about a half-pot bet. But when you get called here, the gig is up. Like, your opponent has something strong, either a slow-played 7 or an ace. So he probably could give up his queen high, but I don't know, will he? Because when you get to the river and you can't win,
Right.
the best bet is usually to go all in.
That's the hardest thing in poker.
To
is
give up.
Just
Yeah.
surrender.
Yeah.
Wave the white flag.
But he might find it here, like I said, because when you bet 11K and you get called on this texture, your opponent's going to have something.
And he moves all in. The snap call from Peter. And look at this. Peter plays it unconventionally, hits an ace on the turn, and wins a pot worth $93,000. 5-4-7, 2 diamonds. My eyes quickly dancing across these cards. Seb with the overpair of jacks. Brittany with 8s is going to bet 2,000. JRB comes along, calling with the queen 5. And now Seb
Who's winning the
makes the
Lakers game,
call.
Can you see?
Now, passive play could really
You know
lead
who's
you
winning
down
the
some
Lakers here?
dangerous streets here.
Yeah, but in these bomb pots, you
Lakers?
got to
I
play
don't know.
passive in these spots because it's just really hard to navigate. And as we see, look at these runouts. Brittany with top set. Peter now makes a straight. He's going to bet it. Brittany snap calls, but she's got to know, look, I need the board to pair ASAP. And Sebas with a quick fold to jacks, which is good.
6啊，还没什么牌。
Oh my God. Brittany with quad eights.
Wow.
허야.
How did that happen all of a sudden?
And she gets snap called when he goes all in.
Unbelievable.
Jack high, some queen 10 flop or whatever. You maybe get it all. So that's kind of my argument there. And here we got some big hands again. Peter not going to go anywhere with nines. This could just get him pre.
I mean,
but
the pace of play is just mind-blowing.
yeah, we can't even commentate as fast as
We
it's
can't even
going.
finish talking about the previous hands, and there's already 50K back in the middle here. Queen, queen 10. Wasp quickly continues for 12,000.
I don't know how Peter's going to fold a pair, but he could. Okay, he doesn't. And Wass, you know, just with one of these bluffing candidates that has equity, and he gets there.
Ace on the turn.
Now, I think you want to start checking here at some clip because you have Queen X in your range, you have pocket aces, you have pocket tens, you know, you have King Jack in your range here too. So I think you want to check maybe, I don't know, and just let some weaker holdings continue.
Is it also a case of either far behind or far in front? Because there are still some queens in Peter's range, even though it's not super likely. But at the same time, when you do hit your ace, it is going to be even more unlikely that Peter has something that he can give you a lot of value with.
Yep, you're spot on there, Remco. You're really hoping to get value from ace jack here, like a suited ace, like an ace X of spades that floated. Maybe a jack 10, king 10 type hand.
Peter has been playing extremely loose and aggressive. He is just not in the mood to fold.
But Wass might be targeting hands like ace 10, right? Ace jack typically, and like I said, just some suited ace X, but he might not want, you know, Peter's just tormented here, and I just don't know if Wass has that many bluffs when you get this kind of run out. So I think Peter could comfortably make a fold here, but it hurts.
This does not look like the kind of man who wants to fold. I think he's trying to give himself reasons to call here, even though he probably knows that he's better off folding. We've all been there.
Yeah, look, Wass has been mixing up. He's been splashing around. He's been playing a lot of pots, so
Oh,
look
man.
at the face of determination
You can
on
feel
Peter.
it. You can just feel it.
There's just no pathway here to victory. This could be the best Hollywooding ever, but Wass
I
is
mean,
not
we
gonna
know
go
this
anywhere.
is genuine. Peter is genuinely thinking about proceeding in the hand. Wasserson has shown a variety of bluffs. It's probably going through his mind. And he moves
Sometimes
all
I translate
in.
the change, but this
Wow.
time I'll translate the body language. This is free roll from Charles.
Wasserson with the great turn bet. It
Free roll
induces
from
action from
Charles.
two nines for only 40K. I mean, jeez,
I mean,
crazy.
142 in the middle.
And running it twice with 95% equity for 143K pot, Remco.
Peter chasing some losses. Didn't want to believe that Wasserson had it. First one goes to Wasserson. Just one out for Peter here, the 9 of clubs. 5 of hearts on the second board, and Wasserson is going to scoop an absolutely enormous pot here.
You just got to take the lumps.
All right, so Peter reloaded. He's got 119,000. And Charles makes it 4K with ace queen of spades.
Peter is
Wow.
not playing anymore, Remco.
No, Peter is literally here to try and destroy some people. He makes it 20K. Oh, and JRB comes along as well. We got 61,000 in
Wow.
the middle.
We haven't even seen a flop yet.
Three-way action. This is insane. 7-7-4.
Peter with the best of it with a great flop. And what is he going to do? How big?
I mean, judging by how Peter has been playing the last 30 minutes, he might just jam here.
It's not that bad of a play if he did. But instead, we're going to check it over to JRB, who checks. Okay, cunning check there. And now, Peter, please bet your hand, because this is the only way you're getting action.
JRB now open-ended, and Peter betting 20,000.
King Charles stuck in the middle with ace queen high, but pretty easy release here. And JRB going to be the one with the decision. Is he going to jam? You know, just take his equity. He doesn't think Peter maybe has pairs and he's up and down, or is he going to call and try to see a river first? But I think JRB has an easy all-in more or less. I mean, Peter has some probably just whiffs here, and JRB has enough equity where his sixes are probably good, or he can improve. But
wow, Charles calls with ace
Crazy.
queen high. JRB instant all in for 42,900, and now the action back on Peter.
I mean, crazy. I mean, yeah. If Charles wasn't in the middle, Peter, you know, flicks this in easy. Peter now might be considering, do I just want to jam myself?
Peter makes the call, and now we're back on Charles, who could be drawing dead. You know, if you're thinking about the kind of hands that are out there right now, Charles is going to make the call, and JRB, with a straight draw and his pair of sixes, $189,000 in the middle.
I mean, JRB is uncomfortable. He needs to
Wait till
improve.
you see what he has before you decide that.
Peter,
4 on the river. Peter with his pair of eights, and it goes check, check. JRB shows his sixes. That's no good.
Nice.
Peter,
JRB celebrates with him.
Oh my God. Peter tables the eights.
That's a monster.
Oh my God. After the hand he lost against Wasserson, everybody probably thought this man is just on tilt.
Without a clock and time extensions and all of that in play at these final tables, it's good. You know, there's not too much tanking. I know we've had some longer hands, but understandably so given those decisions. But you know, things are moving.
Seeing lots of love for LaPlante, for She in the chat. Victor has some fans, so does Sandberg. Stavia raising it up to 225 here. Gets over to Sandberg in the big blind with queen 3 of clubs. Might we peel? Yes, we will. Sandberg is going to make the call, see a flop, hoping for something with a bit of connectivity to get his chips in the middle. And we flop a flush. Holy moly. 8-6-7. Sandberg flops a queen high flush. Stavia, let it be known, can still do one better with the 9 of clubs.
Yeah, Sandberg here just, I mean, try and contain your excitement inside. Can already feel the double up coming. Obviously, you know, you can be over flushed, yes, but unlikely so.
Sandberg peels from the big blind, flops the goods, and now, of course, looking to get the money in, and there we go. Stavia makes it very easy. A bet and a call, and Evan Sandberg's tournament life is on the line. You see it in the top left-hand corner of your screen. 1 out. Just 1 out, Sandberg has to dodge, so he is very comfortable here, looking for a double up.
I feel like we're due for a straight flush. We've done enough of these streams now. I feel like we're due for a straight flush, right? I mean,
If you have to go out, might as well be doing 1 outer.
Yeah.
All right, Sandberg, be careful what you wish for. Turn and river still to come. Is Stavia going to find the miracle? Turn card is the 8 of spades. So far, so good. Stavia just needs to fade that 1 card that would make this room erupt. River card. It's the 9 of clubs!
My God.
Oh my God! Sandberg said it himself. If I go out, it might as well be against the straight flush.
He kind of willed it into existence.
I mean, this is his own fault.
We're going to see it in an hour. Oh, shit, that is so dirty. And there's, yeah.
Once again, shout out to everyone who's tuned into our stream tonight. One final time, please. Hit subscribe on the Venetian Poker Live channel.
Yeah. Just give me the pot every time.
Expand our reach. Make sure everyone knows about this game. This massive game happening every Saturday on the Venetian Poker Live channel and on PokerGo.
And, right, if there's any millionaires or wealthy people, affluent people that want to come play, JRB said, look, you show up here with 50K, 100K.
How many raids are you going to make?
maybe we can get you in the game.
You can
How many raises
DM,
you
you can
gonna
DM
make?
me on Twitter or find a way to contact Venetian Poker Live on social media. We will pass along your contact details to JRB as we see
You're ahead. You're ahead.
a massive pot building here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Brittany all in for 37,600.
We can't even plug the channel.
No. We go
today
2K,
I'm very
11, 27,
Today I'm very lucky.
and now we are all in
Don't mess with Brittany, bro.
77,000.
Always the queens.
Queens for the queen.
Running it
Yeah.
twice. King 7-6.
doing it twice.
No,
shot
no,
here
please
for
don't put the 8 out there.
JRB.
Please don't. No 8. No 8, Brittany. Please. No, just no 8.
A jack of hearts is okay.
9 on the turn. Additional
No
outs for
8, no
JRB.
9, no 10. Okay? No 8, 9, 10.
Nah,
No
he's
8, 9,
lying.
10.
Don't believe him.
No, come on, don't do that to Brittany. She's so lovely.
River card. The 6 of hearts.
That's a really, really bad card for me.
Lots of
Really
JRB's
hard
outs
cards.
being mixed there. The 6-7,
heart.
two
Hearts,
hearts,
two
a
hearts.
9.
Squandered.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, second board. Oh, look at this. 7, 8, 4.
Every hand's
Now you got a chance.
The sixes.
Jack or a
Oh,
6
my
now.
sixes.
sixes are
Oh,
gone.
JB to split it.
no.
outs.
Jack's
Jack's
dead.
Jack's out.
No jacks.
You can hit a jack.
We're all wild.
Lots of jacks left.
can have
Lots
a
of
jack.
jacks. Lots of jacks left.
Three of spades, not
Lots of
going to do
jacks
it.
left.
Okay, chop it.
Put like a
How much, Brittany?
Black 4.
All right, river card. The 10 of diamonds.
Needle.
And Brittany
What
is going
a
to double
needle.
through JRB.
He's gotten a
not
couple
even
small
my
bluffs
worst
through,
quiver
but
on
now
that.
he's got a real hand.
Messed that game up so badly. Can't believe I didn't call beer with an ace there.
And Isaac looks interested.
但是我我们不是大概率更没勾
He
了
had。a spade blocker.
I had 9 that hand.
没想到
I had 9 that.
而且我
And I had a
我
spade
之前
blocker.
辅导你的。
And JRB in the straddle with ace queen of diamonds makes it 15,000.
Those blockers don't mean shit to me.
Oh, baby. Peter with that look in his eyes. Welcome back to Venetian Poker Live. We are live with the final 5 of the $1,600 Ultimate Stack. $2.5 million in the prize pool. $286,000 up top, and it is Joe Serock who still sits atop the leaderboard, followed by Roman Korenev. However, we've seen massive swings leading up to this point. Jason Zipfel and Kenneth O'Donnell among those, constantly in flux, but still in the hunt. Zipfel, the shortest stack as the blinds go up to 400K, 800K. With the 800K big blind ante, my name is Rem Korenev. Donnie Peters alongside me in the booth. The trusted team is back, and we are stoked to call the action here, as this has been one of the more fun final tables of the summer, period. Like, it's just been all over the place, crazy action. Let's see what the next few levels will bring. Let us know in the chat who you're rooting for. Let us know how your summer has been going, and don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. With the blinds this big, Donnie, how many players will survive the 400, 800K level?
It could be over at this level, to be honest. Stacks are not that deep.
White raises it up with ace 8. Picks up the blinds at antes, and it's going to show the ace.
I'm ready for you that time. Bullying me.
Patrick White has been very entertaining to watch so far at this final table. Pulled off a crazy bluff with King Jack versus Joe Serock. Zipfel probably thought he was guaranteed 6 figures after O'Donnell jammed Queen 6 into King Queen. 6 on the river kept O'Donnell in the hunt. And now all eyes back on Zipfel, who only has 6 big blinds. Action on Korenev, King Queen suited in the small blinds.
Okay, thank you.
10.8 start to half.
Korenev, who wrote down stalling as one of his pet peeves, taking some sweet time here in the small blind. Come on. Ultimately does come with the raise. Now 1.9 million is going to get it done.
Hot black tea, please.
So thank you.
Yeah, black tea with honey and lemon, please.
Serock, who was up to 27 million at one point, now back down in the realm of mortals on 19 million. Even though Serock has the chip lead, Donnie, he still has to be very careful here.
Yeah, it's not as big of a lead that he had earlier. And with the size of the blinds, I mean, there can be some real damage done to his stack.
Zipfel, however, not one to dish out any damage. He desperately looking for something to double up with.
He took the 8.
Wow.
He's efficient.
Now you're just showing off, Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a secret.
Players probably waiting for Zipfel to make his next move before doing anything crazy, but Korenev finds a real strong one here. Serock probably thinking, if there's ever a chance to pressure someone, it's when we have a short stack sitting on 4 big blinds hanging out. Oh, wow. Jack 10-9. Serock flops a jack high straight. Korenev open-ended on the high-end side of the straight. 4.4 in the middle. Let's see where this goes.
It's going into the middle. I mean, it does depend on how Korenev approaches this, because of that stack size of Zipfel, maybe there's an argument, yeah, he does check back, so not going to go too wild with his straight draw.
4 of hearts on the turn. Serock now probably looking to get some value here. How do we size this, Donnie?
I would size half pot, little, you know, kind of a little bit larger. I know Serock's been prone to go smaller, around 20 to 25%. Just the presence of 2 flush draws out there. Of course, you know, your opponent can have hands like the ace queens where he's checking back. So, you know, you do want to charge those appropriately, not just giving cheap cards to the river.
Serock comes with 2.7 into 4.4. Korenev's hand surely strong enough to see a river card here. Now, close to 10 million in the middle. River is the king of hearts, and that gives Korenev Broadway. A 3rd heart comes in, though, but Serock has to know that the straight that he's currently playing has lost a lot of its punch.
Yeah, no, I don't think Serock's going to lose probably any chips. I mean, maybe he comes with a block here, but I think he's ultimately just going to check, and then, of course, we know what Korenev's going to do, and this is actually, you know, it stinks for Serock, of course, yes, but I think he's not going to lose too much here,
It's a man prepared
other than
right
the chips he's already committed.
big blind and
Yeah.
here you go.
Budgeting.
I mean, that's just the absolute worst card. Even
Far cry from all the
independent of it being a king, it's a heart, you know,
Big
which
blind.
just is brutal as well.
Action on Serock here, just shy of 10 million in the middle. Korenev about to take the chip lead in this tournament. Serock comes with the check, recognizing that the value of his hand in this situation does not lie in betting. Korenev now trying to decide how much can I extract here. Also has the ace of hearts, which is helpful.
Yeah, the ace of hearts certainly allows him to really have all sizing options on the table. He's coming with 4 million here. Right around 40% pot. And if you're Serock, I just really don't know how you call. I think a lot of the one pair hands that Korenev might have just check back. Try and get this one to showdown. He can have some backdoor flushes that come in. He can obviously have a few queens.
Korenev has not been aggressive without reason, has not been spewy, has not been to showdown at all, and now comes with 4 million on the river, less than half pot on this scary looking board for Serock's made hand. And there it is. Well done, Joe Serock saves himself 4 million chips.
The sound of chips, you know, all you hear is chips.
Korenev, though, now in the lead for the first time at this final table.
Crazy, you know.
Hear it in your sleep. Ask Tony, shit. It's all he listens to all day.
Puts me to sleep. I need to.
Yeah.
Zipfel, ace high, probably good enough.
Oh,
There he goes.
thank you.
How much?
Way too much. I mean, definitely don't want to lose this one, boss.
3.2? 3.3.
All right, we'll do it.
Good luck,
And
guys.
there it is. Patrick White makes the call in the big blind.
Three?
Ace 7 versus ace 3.
But we'll chop it. We'll
We'll
chop
probably
it.
chop, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll chop.
Yeah, still some chop
Take it
options
back.
here.
Chop it. Don't even look at a flop.
This has not been a final table that hasn't favored the all-in player. We've
See,
seen many
He's chopping it. We'll just take it back.
many
say, Mr.
survivalists already.
No, he said take it back. It's just a chop.
Can we agree on a chop?
Let's vote on it.
All right, let's see the flop here. Are we going to get down to 4, or will Zipfel survive one way or another? Chop or double, he'll take it. And
Chop.
Queen Jack 10 does give us lots of ways to chop
Seal the
this.
deal with the king.
Out of 3. Seal
Zipfel
the
looking
deal
for a
with the
3 and the 3 only to double up.
Oh no.
4 on the turn
Not like this.
gives White some more ways to win
This
and
way.
send Zipfel to the rail. River card is the 10 of clubs, and we are going to chop it.
Never been happier to chop.
Oh,
with the
now you know what a chop looks like. Amazing. Yeah.
Well, I was a little bit more, you know,
Oh, you weren't.
a little bit more likely in this scenario.
You weren't ready for it last time.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't even know where I was.
Thank you.
Eight in back too.
I'll be stealing my blind anymore.
Oh, 8.
Right. Put down.
Sure. I thought that it's the way to answer. Okay.
Ace-Jack suited for O'Donnell.
Mullen.
He's not going to wait for Zipfel to make his next move. He's just going to go all in. And Ace-Jack here for Korenev.
I need count.
He needs a count. It's 12 big blinds. Almost half the stack of our chip leader. $9.6 million. Are we supposed to call here with Ace-Jack?
I think he's going to ultimately pass. Ace-Jack suited, probably call. Ace-Jack off. I think going the conservative route here is preferred. I know you're chip leader, which may make you think that, okay, you know, I can afford this, but still half your stack. And there's a guy over there with sub 5 bigs, so I think it's fine to get out of the way. You know, Korenev has done so well at this table to avoid the, you know, the really big confrontation.
O'Donnell, of course, will shove much more than hands that Korenev can beat, but at the end of the day, risk-reward being a big factor here. Do we want to risk half our stack here?
Yeah, I don't know how much wider he's shoving than Ace-Jack suited. I mean, Ace-10 suited. I'm not sure how much lower he goes there. Probably going to be some King-Queen suited in there, yes. Obviously some pairs that you can flip with, but...
We saw him shove Queen-Deuce.
Queen-6.
Oh, sorry, Queen-6, yes.
But that was, you know, a different situation.
Yeah, I know.
On the button, etc. So just up against the range that he's shoving with, your overall equity just doesn't fare all too great, you know. Small chance you're dominating. Probably a pretty decent chance. It's like 50-50. Also, a chance that he just has you dominated.
All in.
That's enough.
So O'Donnell now back to 10 million exactly. I see some big showdowns in our future here. White comes with it again, suited ace-deuce. And Korenev with the all-in 3-bet applying maximum pressure. We know White might have some theatrics, but
one of these times.
this time he just comes with a quick fold.
Ace-Jack, Ace-10, so good.
And there it is, the zoom on the short stack. It's never a good thing when you can shuffle your entire stack with one hand. Korenev, meanwhile, up to almost 25 million, and where Serock was not able to capitalize on his chip lead, Korenev so far doing just that.
Right.
And all right announced here by Zipfel.
3 big blinds.
King 6 for 3 bigs.
2.3 now. 2.3.
That is a dusty hand. That is, I'm alive. See? Good fold.
Yep.
You were, in fact, behind.
See you both. Thank you.
A couple more of those.
All right, little look at what's happening inside the Venetian Poker Room. The Bat Beat Barrel promotion running all year round. Have any aces full of king's hand beaten by a better hand in any qualifying promotional cash game, and you will select a Bat Beat Barrel cash prize envelope from our drawing drum. Cash prizes range from $250 up to $5,000. Check out official rules inside the Venetian Poker Room, which is located at level 2 at the Palazzo Grand Canal Shops. Don't miss out. Plenty of action all year round here inside the poker room. If it is in tournaments, then it's cash games or both. Variety of meetup games happening as well here throughout the year. Hold'em, Omaha, whatever you might like.
Nice one.
Which one?
Go see her.
No, no. Okay. No, she was just talking.
Oh.
Let us know in the chat who you believe will end up going heads up here. I'm going to go with White and Korenev.
White and Serock.
Oh, very possible.
There's no way in my mind Patrick White doesn't make it to heads up play.
Exactly.
No way.
I'm sort of surprised we're still 5-handed. Once again, if you're loving the show, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as we see Zipfel move all in with ace-4 of hearts. It's not a lot, but he's still got some fold equity.
4.
Something like that.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. 3.9.
Probably see a call here from Korenev.
Jack 10 offsuit in the big blind. Korenev plenty live against most hands. Zipfel in desperation mode. And the call is made. Zipfel in a coin flip situation to get back up to 9 million. He is the favorite with ace high. Here comes the flop. It is 9-7-3. Safe so far for Zipfel as Korenev picks up a gut shot straight draw along with his jack and a 10. Deuce on the turn keeps things safe. Zipfel 1 card away from being back in contention. River is the ace of spades, and we are still 5-handed.
You got that one in the head?
I'm not always a dog. Can't be a dog every time, right?
All right, now 3 players
Damn.
tied in chips.
Sure. We want to get to technical.
Donnie, if I was in this situation and I was Zipfel, or O'Donnell or White, I'd be really stressed out by the prospects of being within reach of $157,000 payout for getting top 3, or getting 60K less, or even 70K less for finishing in 5th. $70,000, like it's an insane difference.
Yeah, that's the beauty of tournaments, right? Pay jumps get quite enormous. Money truly is on the line. You're never really satisfied unless you get first place. You know, it doesn't matter. Let's see if Zipfel wants to get in there once again. This time Jack 10 suited.
And O'Donnell moves all in now, and this would be two very similar stacks. Donnie, give me your thoughts here on Zipfel opening with Jack 10 suited off of 11 bigs. Seems risque.
I mean, that's probably the bottom of what he's opening there. You know, it's going to get through probably a fair amount of the time. If somebody happens to call, most likely out of the big blind, your hand is very playable in position post. Not the best blocking properties, but some in the fact that you do have two Broadway cards. So I think it's fine. Even if somebody calls you in position, your hand's going to, you know, flop all right most of the time. So I know it is that kind of delicate line between like playing in the ICM world and basically just folding so that you can ladder up. But you also do need to play to win to some degree, right? So again, that Jack 10 suited is probably the bottom. Like probably folds Jack 9 suited, probably raises Jack 10 suited.
Korenev letting go of the button, doesn't want to tangle here. And as the blinds continue to increase, or as the stacks continue to level out,
oh, dude, you don't even need to see anymore.
the pressure.
Oh my goodness! Come on, man. All right, you get rewarded.
Okay, you should never look when you get a walk. First of all,
There's
Believe it or not, I did not have either one of those cards in my hand.
Fair is fair.
I was lying.
Did you have one of those cards the previous hand when you went all in?
No.
No, we were probably flipping then.
Queen 10 of diamonds or something?
Huh?
You like Queen 10 of diamonds or something?
Yeah, Jack 10. Good.
Hmm?
8s, 7s. Such an annoying spot.
9s for Korenev, absolute monster.
I mean, no one has any chips.
At what point?
It's incredible.
At what point does Korenev start shoving?
Well, this hand, I think you just want to come in with a standard raise. You know, basically, you want your. I mean, okay, he's going to jam. I was going to say there's no problem with a hand as good as 9s raising to induce. Now, if you just jam like this, maybe somebody finds a tight fold with an ace 10 suited or an ace jack off, right? Maybe they just ultimately find those hands hit the muck, but
He had overs.
but that's also one of those hands where it's kind of right on that line.
New chip lead.
9s, I personally prefer a raise there. 8s, a
When
little
you start
bit more
with 40K?
50-50 between what you do. 7s, probably just
Start
jam
with
it.
40K.
Like it's right in that
20
area.
million. Imagine this is the cash.
Yeah, thank you.
Feels like all chip stacks are melting in front of us as we, again, approach a new blind level. We're about to go to a 1,000,000 chip big blind, greatly reducing the playability of some of these stacks. Korenev now 1.6 million, and given the shallow nature of play and the ICM considerations that these players have to just, you know, accept, I guess, Korenev in a terrific spot to pick up some pots here.
Okay.
Back up to 25 million for Korenev. Serock, by the way, Donnie, has been a non-factor for about an hour now.
Yeah, he's just stuck in the middle now. Can't really do much. Not that he was doing a whole ton. You know, he was selectively active here and there as the chip leader, but now that he's pulled back into that middle bunch, you know, he's kind of just playing similar to the other players, going to try and find a hand that he can ultimately go with should it come to that. And chip leader duties have slid on over the table to Korenev. For Korenev, anytime it gets to him, he's got an ace. A lot of kings too, maybe even some queens. He's going to be raising quite a bit. Just try and put the pressure on his opponents.
And a very nice spot to shove here for Zipfel. And just for some credibility,
Big ace guy.
decides to show his ace.
Every jam or every raise and take is worth 2 million chips.
Yeah.
Right now, there are a total of 80 big blinds on the table. Once the level goes up to 500K, 1 million, there's going to be 64 big blinds on the table.
Serock remaining patient, not stepping out of line, just to force something. And Korenev, with the big stack, continues to pick up the biggest hands.
About 10.
Yeah, it started with just over 10. 10.2, I think.
Instead of shoving, he's going to give O'Donnell a chance to do it himself. Oh, an ace is there for O'Donnell in the big blind. This is where your jam gets called. Oh, and he does make the call.
Yeah, and I like this. You know, your hand is just so powerful. Just trap this.
9-4-4 Korenev. I guess from his perspective, lucky to miss.
He is going to continue, though. 2 overs, backdoor hearts. And O'Donnell's comfortable enough here with the ace of diamonds in his hand to just call once again.
Yeah, at this point, you might as well let Korenev empty the clip if he feels up for it. Well done here by O'Donnell, keeping his customer. Turn card is the ace of hearts, giving Korenev a flush draw. And perhaps, Donnie, the ace a card that Korenev wants to represent.
It is a card that he might want to represent, but given his exact holding with the nut hearts, maybe he's hoping to just go check, check, try and fully realize that equity that we know he doesn't have. Like, he thinks he has a flush draw here as some sort of backup.
And it goes check, check. O'Donnell giving every single chance to Korenev to make a hand, and the check on the turn makes it a reality. O'Donnell plays this to perfection as Korenev backs into a flush. O'Donnell holding a full house.
We're going to have a new chip leader.
Oh my God, O'Donnell with aces here in such an amazing spot.
And, you know, Korenev, I think all sizing options right now are on the table. 7.6 behind for O'Donnell, 6.4 out there.
And Korenev obviously dreaming of some value here. 6.4 in the middle. Looks like a half pot bet perhaps.
And now we might see a little bit of some Hollywooding here before O'Donnell ultimately jams.
Oh, and no hesitation here. O'Donnell moves all in, and Korenev probably knows that there's no way he can get rid of this. Makes the call, but is not happy about it, and he gets shown the full house. Korenev loses the chip lead. O'Donnell now the lone man on top. And who could have predicted this when he had 2 outs going to the river versus Joe Serock? Kenneth O'Donnell now leading the way with 5 left.
3.
Crushing.
7,
A very, very well played hand there by O'Donnell. Really not much Korenev could do in that spot. And And I will say that, listen, I know you opened up the show talking a lot about Korenev's experience. He's practically seen it all in this game. I would say that he's probably not overly surprised to see aces there in that spot. Like if O'Donnell's going to have a hand that he's playing slow or has a ton of value there, it's probably going to be the aces. Nines, he probably just jams it in pre-flop. Same with jacks, you know, stuff like that. Does he really have hearts somehow? Like he's calling my bet on the flop to float with hearts. Seems a little bit ambitious, so I don't think that Korenev is overly surprised. I mean, obviously you don't like to see the fact that your opponent had it, but kind of just tap the table and say, yeah, well, nice hand. What are you gonna do?
Oh no, I have green.
No, big ones.
I have a huge stack, dude. Just don't even concern yourself.
Right.
You're on a heater.
Small.
And O'Donnell now.
Oh my gosh, I have aces.
Switching into a higher gear.
I could meet aces at some point.
I have a feeling, Donnie, that all these players know how to bully with the big stack. And so far, White, Serock, O'Donnell, and Korenev have all held the chip lead. And none of them have been able to then run away with it.
Yeah, they've always kind of just got pulled right back down to the pack. We'll see if O'Donnell can be the one that actually stretches it out. I'm going to say no. Not because I don't trust O'Donnell or believe in his skills. I'm going with what's been happening, and everyone just gets pulled back. You know, you start getting a lead, the other four players say, no, sir. Come on back this way.
Donnie, imagine the itching feeling in the hands of Patrick White having folded the last 6 hands.
We need to give him the 7-5 suited.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Exactly. Or King Jack, maybe.
King Jack, give him King 9.
Let's see.
Rock gets a walk with Ace King.
Wow. Wow. Just sense it. Helps that I had a very bad hand.
King Jack off. Such a dusty one.
Neither one of those cards sniffed my hand.
So tilting after just fold. King Jack is not suited.
Yeah.
All right, chat. Who's going to win this thing? I feel like we can make the case for any player. Even Zipfel. Even Zipfel can still win. Like, anything is possible as O'Donnell looks to be the enforcer.
He's chip leader. You won't even be the one all in. Wish him good luck.
Huh? Wow. I'm just wishing good luck.
That's a new feeling.
Anyone that'll take it, dude.
That's true. Actually, you want people to bust maybe.
I don't know.
If you're enjoying the coverage of this pretty crazy final table, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, if you are a poker fan and you love what Venetian is doing, please head on over to the Venetian Poker Live YouTube channel and make sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications. We got some big cash games coming up in the next two weeks. Get your fill, as obviously it's been a summer of tournament action, so it's nice to mix things up with some cash game poker, as O'Donnell now finds ace-king suited after winning the last 3 hands, and he just continues to shove, hoping that players will take a stand with a mediocre type holding, but that is not the case.
Not a fan of that.
Too much.
Yeah, too much. I mean, that's too much of a premium hand, right? You want action with those hands. Even if you got the big blind defending and coming along, ace-king suited is one of the best hands you're going to be dealt. Can certainly just play it fine post-flop.
Donnie, is there ever a scenario where the stacks get so shallow that it is in the best interest of all players to talk about a chop?
I mean, yeah. You know, if it just becomes like a crapshoot, right? And all the stacks are very close, then yeah, maybe they want to reduce the variance. Then it's going to come down to personal preference, you know? How much gamble do you have in you? And do you just want to embrace that variance and try and go for the win? Or do you want to reduce that variance, you know, take it down a little bit, lock up some more money? But like, I mean, right now, O'Donnell's too far ahead. But if they all even out and we get up to the 1 million big blind level, maybe the 1.2 million big blind level, and things are very even, everyone's within 1 or 2 big blinds, and yeah, maybe chop discussions come up.
Korenev, who went from the man pushing players around to all of a sudden being on the defensive end of things. Poker is such a funny game. Things change so quickly.
And Venetian does facilitate chops here. They usually have the players leave, you know, a little bit on the side to play for. Of course, you're playing for the title, the trophy, and all that glory. But if these guys wanted to discuss a chop, they are certainly within their right to do so.
By the way, Donnie, depressing news. Only 1 trophy for the winner.
Only one?
Only 1.
Yeah, the ladies high roller got 8 trophies.
Shout out to the Lips Ladies Poker Championship. 3 trophies for the winner in that event. Joe Serock here, finally with an opportunity and some cards.
Yeah, Serock might just want to put this in. Could also see him taking the approach of a raise.
On.
But the problem with raising is, like, if you happen to get jammed on, it's kind of a really gross spot. So just take this one and ultimately run it. And now, little G.
I just don't want you to call.
Yeah.
Got a decision here in the big blind.
Zipfel with a tough decision here.
Spot feels like it's close.
I think this is like right on the border and might be fold. I don't know, he's so short.
I'm just gonna let you have it.
Thank you.
And look at this. Serock happy to pick this one up without showdown. What kind of hand does Zipfel have to call with there? Like, what stage are we at right now, given his stack?
I suppose
Ace
going
10
up.
suited, ace jack off, king queen suited.
So he was very, very close.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about what Serock is doing in that position, Serock probably folds king jack off. Or maybe he puts that into the raise fold bucket, but I don't think he's jamming it. King jack suited, okay, but like you dominate that hand, it's hard for him to have it. He's probably going to jam an ace jack suited, which you're obviously behind again. So I think it's very close. And I don't mind that fold. I know you're getting short here, but no one really has a ton of playability. I mean, I know O'Donnell has, you know, 34, 35 big blinds up there, but he's effectively playing the stacks that are around him. So no one's super deep here. And if little G is comfortable with maneuvering on a sub 10 big blind stack, then I think the fold is okay.
So Korenev comes with the min raise, and Serock defends from the big line with king deuce suited. And Serock flops a flush draw. Nothing there for Korenev. Does feel like there's a whole lot of tiptoeing going on right now. As I mentioned many times, a $28,000 pay jump between 5th and 4th, so extra caution advised for the remaining players. $1 million from Korenev. Serock weighing his options. How do I continue? Is semi-bluff ever an option here? Does it make any sense to attempt something like that?
It's hard, given this short.
Serock is just going to make the call. 5 of clubs on the turn. Korenev still sitting there with a set pair of 7s, so got a good bit of showdown value.
Now, if Korenev does find another bet here, which he might just come with the check back, but if he does bet, I think Serock will ultimately just put this one in the muck.
Korenev continues firing. Does not want to give any free river cards. Action now back on Serock. Only a bet of 1.5 million into 6.4. What does that signal to you?
I don't think it signals much because the stacks are so shallow. So you can, you're like lowering your bet sizes because the percentage that you're wagering against your opponents is still effectively pretty big because the stacks just aren't that deep.
Well, Serock does make the call. Interesting river card here. It's the Jack of Diamonds. Korenev with his 7 checks back happily, and he's going to take down a pretty big pot. And now Joe Serock dips below 10 million. And all of a sudden we have the haves and the have-nots. O'Donnell and Korenev heavily weighing down the north side of this table as Zipfel, Serock, and White are all in danger of being the next player out with 10, 7, and 6 big blinds respectively. The tables can turn so fast.
Yeah, 800K wasn't really my blind. 1 million.
This is the one. Yeah.
I'm a million kind of guy.
Yeah.
Blinds are going up, as you can see on the screen. This means that the big blind now, 1 million chips. Makes the math very easy for us to keep track of. I appreciate that.
Mullen. Good luck, Pat.
And here we go. Patrick White, after a long, quiet stretch, moves all in.
O'Donnell. They still lose to another Irishman.
Yeah.
4.9.
Good place no matter what happens.
Million at risk here. 4.8, excuse me. Got to get those details right here as White is in a coin flip situation here. And if the pass is any indication, we're not going to see an elimination here. Or will we? Ace, Jack, 8, and again, the shortest stack prevails.
Turn the sets.
O'Donnell looking for a 5. King on the turn is not going to do it. A 5 and a 5 only will send White to the rail. Patrick White about to be back up over 10 million.
I stand Pat.
River card, Jack of Spades.
Yeah, just.
And White doubles up. Nobody willing to leave just yet.
Oh, big.
4.8.
Big. I mean, you fold ace-jack against him. You can't fold ace-9 against me.
No, I had no chips. I had more chips in front of me at the with the ante than I did behind. Then I seen your stack. I said, this guy won't even notice.
Believe it or not, I noticed.
Small interruption to O'Donnell's recent dominance as White is back with some additional ammunition, and Zipfel now all in for 5.4 million. That is 5.4 big blinds for those good at math. And White finds pocket 8s. Will this be the end of the road for Little G?
How many times is the ace going to hit the flop?
Zipfel saying exactly what I was about to say.
Believe it or not, I did not fold one.
We've seen the ace come out
I
on
folded
many
one.
occasions
But you, huh?
I folded an ace.
to keep the short stacks alive. Zipfel all in for his tournament life for a third time today. Here comes the flop. And he is about to escape again. Ace 3 king. White looking for the lone 8 of hearts. 9 of hearts, close but no cigar. Zipfel about to double up again
Oh,
as it comes running
the double
nines.
sweat, dude. I mean, the double 9 was it's just too much to handle.
This final table is insane.
It really was. Did you see what happened? I mean, what they're trying to
One
do.
of them was black.
I did see it. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not thinking that far ahead.
The black was safe. Yeah. 5.4, right? Is that what it was? Yeah.
All right, still 5-handed. Here's a look at the recent winners. Who will get added to this list? Sirza Sanders with a terrific showing in the ladies' events. Mohamed Mamouni winning the DeepStack Seniors before that one. All right, let us know in the chat who's going to get added to the list of winners here during the summer of poker action here at Venetian Poker Live. If you're joining us on YouTube, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and find the Venetian Poker Live channel if you haven't already.
Oh man, they brought on the lefty.
Oh,
Totally
baby.
switch up the cards.
Donnie, has Zipfel officially reached cockroach status at this point?
Yeah, I mean, can't kill the guy.
Unkillable, and now he's third in chips. It's so funny how tournament final tables can play out. Stacks are very shallow. Again, 500K, 1 million on the blinds. White and Serock in serious trouble here.
5.7.
And there we go.
Oh,
White all in again. Just winning the blinds and antes already massive right
See
now.
if I can return the favor. No. Nice.
Had to go with the ace, right?
They're hot.
Yeah.
I would fold kings if I knew you had that card.
Ace magnets.
Boys, I will gamble with you if I get kings. I will. I'd be willing to put it in.
If I have kings and you show me the ace.
My goal is to be able to fold kings pre-flop.
Yeah?
I never.
Terrible goal.
I seen.
Yeah, that's pretty dumb.
I mean, you can do it anytime
No,
you want.
I seen that guy Woods, the actor,
Yeah?
up in Foxwoods.
Yeah?
And a
And he did it correctly?
He folded kings, but the Russian guy had ace-7 of diamonds, and he showed it.
Wait, so why do you want to do that?
Like, you know, it was just he folded kings pre-flop,
Yeah.
just James Woods.
Yeah, sounds like a bad plan.
Pocket aces for Korenev at the right time.
And it was for like 2,000.
Let's see if he can make this look weak in some way.
Like it was less than
He's
5,000.
too rich to get bust off a king.
Raise. 2 million.
2 million the raise. Korenev just crossing
Yeah,
his
he was in
fingers.
the tank for like 6,
hoping
7
for
minutes,
some
and like
right
everyone loves
action.
seeing like a famous actor, so
Yeah.
we left him alone, you know.
It was a cash game?
I was thinking, well, just go up and get the 5,000 cash from your room, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
come back down. No, he folded it.
Yeah, I never played with him. I know he plays a lot. But I
Yeah.
play with him.
Serock's really just been through it all. Chip leader, middle of the pack, short stack. He's experiencing the whole gamut of things here at this final table.
I mean, what a blow it would be to Serock if he goes from chip leader to 5th with the potential earnings left out there, and now Serock is going to call the min raise, hoping to catch something. Instead, we see Jack 6-7. Serock checking, most likely with the idea of giving up.
That. 1 pot.
That's it.
For 1.1.
That's good.
O'Donnell, Queen Jack.
Come on.
On.
Just going to jam on the shorter stacks to his left.
7.2.
Call. On and call.
And White makes the call with Ace Jack.
Who has the most chips?
He does. I have 7.2.
For a change, the short stack
What do you got,
ahead
Patty? 7.1?
going into the
7.2.
showdown.
There you go.
Patrick White.
Let's
looking to
see about
double up.
aces in the window.
We've seen lots of aces on the board. This time it is 10 deuce 3, very safe for White as O'Donnell looks for a queen or a backdoor straight,
Yeah,
and the
it's
ace
unbelievable.
now gives O'Donnell some additional outs. A king would send White to the rail.
I don't think I'm going to play anything else other than
3 of
aces.
spades on the river gives White the double up. And Donnie, this is starting to get comical here. The stacks again evening out, and as you predicted, O'Donnell not able to capitalize on his major chip lead.
Yeah, I think I just am rooting now for everyone to have 4 big blinds at some point. Stay 5-handed. Let's just grind this one right down to a nub.
Extremely
Free-hand
funny.
and everything. Nothing works.
Yeah.
That's close enough, yeah. It's a tough table to kill people.
The short stacks are fighting hard.
Like who?
The short stacks are winning in every single all. Let's keep it that way if I'm all in with you and you. With you? No. No. That's your turn.
Serock here with a nice looking hand when you're sitting on 4.5 bigs.
4.5, maybe.
Korenev, ace-3 in the big blind. Tempted perhaps to make the call here.
5.5 looks like.
4.
Excuse me. 4 point.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Huh?
Wait,
No.
what's 5.5?
4.
4.5.
2, 3, 4. 4.5. 4.5.
4.5 million. Korenev makes the call. Great spot for Serock to now double up.
This one feels like a trap.
I'm just going to go ahead and say he's doubling up.
I think it's going to be a chop, Donnie.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. It's gonna
Either
be a
way,
chop.
he's not getting eliminated.
No, no chance.
Not with the way this thing has been going.
5-5.
We have to reach at least the next level before we see the first player hit the rail in about 90 minutes. Really wild how this final table has played out. Can Serock survive? And it comes Jack 10-9. That is certainly a good way to start. Deuce on the turn. Looks scary there. Korenev looking for a 3 and a 3 only.
Oh my gosh.
3 on the river. Disaster for Joe Serock. We joked and said that this would never end. But the man who held the chip lead for the majority of this final table departs in 5th place, and Joe Serock will replay some hands from this final table for quite some
You're looking to
time,
feel, though.
as
I don't know if
nothing
I have time.
seemingly went his way.
I don't know what the late reg time is. Where's my phone?
Serock cashing for $90,000
Phone?
as the final four now guaranteed $118,000. Wow. This final table continues to amaze. Massive pay jump, especially for Zipfel, who was on the ropes from the very beginning and now finds himself with a six-figure payday and more still looming in the distance. And look at these stack sizes. Anyone's game here, really. Zipfel with pocket sixes. He's going to move all in. Stakes as high as they are. It's really wild how this thing could end. Donnie, we could see a four-way all-in and just end it right.
Like we could. We certainly could. You and I have been on the call before for a three-way all-in, but never a four-way all-in. So
Oh, you had a real
I think
I mean,
if there was ever a final table where it ends in a four-way all-in, it's going to be this one.
Absolutely.
It's going to be this one.
Was that Justin Young, Kristen Foxon?
Yeah.
And who was the third wheel there?
I don't remember.
That was incredible. Patrick White taking a little break.
Hustle. It's going to be really close. Nope, didn't make it. What a boss move.
David Coleman,
Supreme boss.
the third wheel in that one.
Four people in the final table. You're just taking a smoke.
Yeah.
That's one of the sickest moves.
How to get knocked out? 3-3?
River 3. Yeah.
You're a legend, dude. You didn't even bother to see it. You're like, how?
Yeah.
Trying to steal the blinds over there.
Patrick White, unfazed by the big action, probably went to use the restroom. Came back to find out he made himself an additional $28,000.
Am I the big blind?
It's good news to come back to.
1 mil, 1 mil.
All right, so Korenev with a decent lead, but basically all he has is a little bit more ammo. And just, I guess he's got like one free hand
take a
to
bathroom
mess up
break,
with.
Make 29,000. It's not bad life.
Mullen.
Uh-oh.
O'Donnell with the jam
Means
on
business.
the button.
I'm hoping I have 7-2. Oh, shit.
White finds an ace in the big blind, but doesn't want to commit.
Tighty Whitey. That's my nickname.
Tighty Whitey.
I mean, you know the aces are coming, too. I thought you were going to play your aces.
That's like it's like calling the big guy tiny kind of thing, right? Calling you tight. Yeah. I've seen you play for 2 days now. You know that, right?
Yeah. And that's what I said. Like, it was the first break when he found out I had King Jack and he had King Queen. I was like, shit.
Yeah.
Can you reach that? Thanks.
How much you playing?
I think I started around 10.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Korenev comes along. Zipfel's got a couple of kings here, so Korenev very much in a bad spot. Ace, 8, 7, 2 clubs. King of clubs does belong to Korenev.
Check.
Action goes check, check. 6 of diamonds on the turn.
Check.
Another check from Korenev.
Check.
Check back. 7 of clubs on the river. Now Zipfel, I feel like, has played this like he's got kings, queens, jacks, tens. So maybe if there was a card to rep, it would have been that 7 on the end, pairing the board, because if anyone's got a 7, it's going to be Korenev here. He's also got the king of clubs as a blocker. He does decide to come with a check.
Yes.
The ace magnets.
The ace magnets is right. The ace magnets is right.
Oh, if only I hit a set there. That would have been a nice one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Sorry, did not realize it was on me, guys. Sorry about that one.
You got things to think about.
No, I didn't even know my hand.
6, 8.
Big one for Korenev here versus O'Donnell in the big blind.
14 with that hand.
Okay. All in.
All in and out.
Look at this. O'Donnell finds King Jack.
Call.
He's tempted, and he gives in to the temptations, makes the call for 13 big blinds. O'Donnell, Zipfel, and White with very similar stacks. Donnie, this is a big risk with King Jack.
This is quite a big risk.
Good luck.
Thanks, man.
Not sure I would have taken this one. I mean, it's kind of just stinks in general because it is blind on blind, but man, I don't know. I haven't seen enough from Korenev at this final table to see that he's stepping out of line. He's been pretty solid all around.
Well, it comes Queen 10-7. O'Donnell with 13 outs twice here. O'Donnell's tournament life on the line with 29 million in the middle, 8 on the turn. O'Donnell awaiting the river card and a massive pay jump looming. Are we going to get down to our final 3? River is the ace of spades, and O'Donnell does it again. Makes Broadway.
There you go, O'Donnell.
Oh my God, this final table.
Ace from space, baby.
What
Ace
the
from
hell?
space.
This is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I love myself some drama, but this is like just insane. Zipfel, White, and Korenev probably all shaking their heads thinking that could have been an easy 40K. And now,
What's that? That was right.
Donnie, as we saw from O'Donnell earlier when he became the chip leader, we're going to see a lot of all-ins now.
This is
Oh,
14.
yes.
No, this is
Oh, yes.
This is 8-2.
Oh, 8-2.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. As soon as I picked it up, I knew it was wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
You owe me 8.
Players right now guaranteed $118,000. And look at this.
14.2 is right. This is 8.2.
Just making sure the count is right. And Korenev has to surrender quite a bit more here
I'm sorry.
to pay his debt. As I said, 118K for the final 4, 157 for third. So we're looking at a $40,000 pay jump.
Good catch, Flaw.
The jump after that is 60,000.
No, I know, but he
second to
caught
third,
it too.
Soon as
and
I
then a
pulled it,
$70,000
pulled it
jump,
like that, I knew it was-
$75,000
Show you the
jump
watch.
from second to first.
Don't trust the deal. Nice. Raise.
And here's that aggression from O'Donnell that we've seen in the past.
2.2.
10 deuce, good enough for him. And Zipfel with ace-7. If he had seen what O'Donnell was up to in the past, he might just jam it right here to shut this thing down. But instead, he makes the call, giving O'Donnell a chance for perhaps some additional aggression to be decisive here. 9-5 deuce, rainbow flop. O'Donnell's deuce somehow best here. O'Donnell continues, comes with 2 million. Looks as though the rich are going to get richer. Zipfel is taking his time. Does decide to let it go.
Tight fold.
Misclick pre-flop.
What'd you try to do?
Trying to make it 2.7.
Oh,
Tight
look at
fold.
this. Friendly discussion here.
I flopped something.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not.
Flopped a pair of deuces.
I believe you.
Korenev now with no more room for error as he is the short stack.
Knock it off. All right, talk me out of it.
Call.
Zipfel remaining careful, just limping in.
Check.
Ace, king, 9. Whoever coughs at this one is probably going to win it.
Bet 1 million.
Given O'Donnell's style, I wouldn't be surprised to see a shove
Long.
here. And there it is. Gotta love it. Kenneth O'Donnell making everyone else work for it. This is exactly what you're supposed to be doing when you get that chip lead. Leave no room to breathe for the remaining players.
You living in the yellow submarine too?
Honestly, the walk to the bathroom on the final table is actually up legendary.
You went to the bar, man. You didn't go to the bathroom.
Got a drink.
Yeah. Rolled a couple,
Made
rolled a couple
29,
dice.
made 30,000.
Yeah, yeah.
I should go again.
You want a bottle of water?
Get 40-something thousand this time.
Korenev here with king 4, left with very few options, and this king high probably good enough to try and get one by O'Donnell.
All in.
Here he goes, moves all in.
500k chips? Is that the only one?
Only one.
That's the only one.
Riding solo.
Okay.
Korenev picking up some much-needed chips. Flawless from O'Donnell here, Donnie. Winning all the showdowns, but also pumping up the aggression whenever he gets the chance to.
A little bit of a bump in the road there, but he is now starting to stretch out that lead that you kind of mentioned to everyone else being unable to do. But here it is now working in his favor. And I would expect him to just stay full on pedal to the floor. Just keep the gas on the whole time. All in here.
Moment.
Yep.
On.
Oh.
Zipfel probably realizing that. Can't be giving up too many of these spots.
Yeah, but ace deuce off, I don't think you can call. You know, again, I mentioned it a bit earlier, but I really like what I've seen from O'Donnell at this final table. I really like that very early value bet when he had the 10-9 suited on the King 10 7x7 board. And then here, you know, the fact that he's gotten into the chip lead and he's recognized that, like, this is my time to just press, and he's just been on the gas the whole time he's had the chip lead. So I really like the overall approach at all the different situations for O'Donnell.
Korenev again with a 7.5 big blind monster. King 9 of spades.
Race. This is 2. 7 million.
No,
No,
no.
wait,
45.
1, 2, 3,
4.5.
I was going to say, that's about half his stack.
He has me at a low.
Button is on me, right? Button's on me. Button's on me.
I think I'm over here. Right?
No, yeah, I moved it. It's here.
Yeah.
It's here. He opened early gun.
Yeah, when you move the bunch down.
I did. I said buttons good. I don't touch it without saying anything. But I'll be more clear.
Once again, if you're enjoying this wild final table, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're rapidly approaching the end of this thing, but with 4 players still remaining and some shallow stacks, we're in for a treat when it comes to some all-in showdowns. This time, Zipfel's turn to shove, and he gets it through. You just paid the blinds twice, and all of a sudden you're in trouble. Zipfel now second in chips. Who would have thought that was possible an hour ago? On the button here with White, who has 5s.
All in.
Yeah.
Sure.
Good luck, guys.
Limited options here. King Jack off here for Korenev. And look at that, quickly in the muck, as opposed to O'Donnell, who found a way to double up with that hand.
7.9.
And O'Donnell now with King 6, considering things.
That's cool. That's cool. I can see it.
This man is on a tear.
7.
Yeah, I can see it. It's fine.
Yeah, 7.
Does let it go.
Nice answer.
Thought you were going to help me again.
I've been too generous to you. Thanks, man.
All right, good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Got to bring it in a cooler.
5-1? Yeah. I'm back.
Welcome back.
All right, here's a look at the Patrick White stats. This man has been entertaining us all day, even though he's been forced into a bit of a tighter approach over the course of the last 2 levels. We'll never forget that King Jack hand, though, where he bluffed Joe Serock in epic fashion. White's still in contention here. Guaranteed 118K, looking for that top prize of 286,000. But so far, it's the Kenneth O'Donnell show. He's got a commanding lead over the other players.
Come on.
All of it.
Just take my blind. Take them all.
I can't double you up again unless I go all in. So the only,
Well, no, you could
it's the only way to do it.
call, and then I go all in, then you call.
Oh, yeah, I guess it
That
is.
is another way to.
The chips have to go in.
Yeah.
Right.
But I would prefer to fold.
Yeah. 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million.
I mean, I
can do
told
that.
you we're going to chop up first and second. I don't know who's getting first or second. I told you a while ago that was happening. So start doing your part, you know, dump a little over here, you know, take from there.
You know I'm good for a double. Or 4.
It has been a while.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
It's been a minute.
It's been like
Couple
at least
levels, actually.
18 hands.
Yes. I'm starving over here.
Yeah.
10-7 suited for Zipfel in the small blind. Do not want to give up those blinds, and he's just going to shove this one.
Yeah, chip back. Just
How much the stock? Yeah.
I love that he always asks.
I got
Always.
That is so great.
10.
You can never be
10?
too sure.
10.6.
So 10, yeah. 10.
All right. There's my million. Bully.
You can't double up less.
He's like, oh, I got an ace. Let me go all in.
At least you're not to the left of the dude with 76 million.
I'd be okay having 76 million, but not there yet, buddy.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Things
At least
change.
you're to the left.
It's a game of blinds. Some people choose to play both ends.
It is an option. No one says you have to look.
If you're Zipfel in this situation, you should just be talking to O'Donnell saying, man,
Mullen?
you really shouldn't be losing this tournament. Like, you know, put some pressure on this guy. Can you imagine still losing after having such a big chip lead? Look at Korenev, just quick with the discipline there.
Yeah, I think Korenev is a couple
Wait,
things.
wait.
You know,
Oh,
one,
here he comes.
This is what I just got that.
Here he
it's
comes.
going to take a premium for him.
is
Even
what
though
I
he's
just
very
got back.
short,
No,
I think he's experienced enough that he knows you can still
You push me,
navigate in
what?
this type of situation with 5, 6
Well,
big
this
blinds.
is there.
Also, I think he's kind of counting on the other players to make a
This is
mistake,
missing the,
which is
the Andy.
something that
I had the
oftentimes
5.
you have to
Small blind was
recognize.
5 little ones.
Did you push it to me twice?
I did push it.
in
two-
tournaments,
two
you know.
step- okay.
Time,
Might need to
The
look at
more
camera.
Korenev folds,
Well, was there an ante?
the more it opens up the door that like somebody else is
Oh,
going
you
to go
definitely
bust
pushed
before
that,
him
but-
because, you know, I mean, Patrick White over there has been kind of a wild card the whole tournament. So
It wouldn't be much difficult.
I did push
Patrick White gets dealt A7
Okay,
in that
that's fine. If he-
spot,
yeah,
probably
yeah.
puts his money in,
Yep.
which is great for you. So Korenev playing a bit of the waiting game here, even though he is super short. And that, in turn, then that makes it really tricky for Zipfel and White because they should then realize that, like, this guy is not going to go broke as the short stack. Like, he's just going to wait, which really handcuffs them.
I mean, if you're Korenev,
Two, that's your-
could you
that's your
tell
level.
yourself,
I
I'm not
think
going
it'd
to
be
win
about
this,
break
so
even
I might as well
too.
fold
Yeah.
to get
Oh,
third
1.2.
and take the 40K?
That's
Yeah, I mean,
not
that's
real
that's
level.
essentially what he's doing, right? He's trying to just ladder
I'll be
up,
fine with making about
ideally
1
to
million.
heads up play, and then whatever happens when you get to heads up play, right? Maybe you get an early double up as a short stack and you can spin it from there.
Well, here Korenev with queen 4 off. Probably thinking, God, I must be a favorite against the random 2 cards that my opponent might have, but he might call with 2 random cards, and then I might be out the door. O'Donnell, trigger happy, as we've seen. And look at that, Korenev given a walk.
Oh, let's see.
Just doesn't want to commit
Oh, I
here.
don't want to see it. Whoa.
Oh.
Whoa.
I probably didn't think he had all that much fold equity. I know you're thinking in your mind, like, well, I do have a queen. It does block some premiums for my opponent, but probably just need a little bit better in that spot.
And here, Korenev with a real hand. Ace deuce of diamonds, not something you can surrender off 5 bigs, and he's going to put 4 of his 5 bigs into the middle here. Queen Jack for O'Donnell. That's right up his alley.
Yeah, maybe he just takes a shot here.
Yeah, makes it 13 million. Puts the other guys all in. Why not?
Call.
And he makes the call with Queen Jack. Oh. Zipfel with 9s. Oh,
what a spot this is.
Baby. Donnie, you're more of a math guy than I am. How do we weigh the page? Oh, there it is, into the muck. How do we weigh the page ums versus the potential of winning this tournament?
I mean, how much gamble do you have in you?
He could have just flatted.
I was thinking maybe there's a world where he can just flat. If he flops the overpair, fine, just go with it.
Oh my God. O'Donnell flopping a jack. Korenev perhaps able to save himself? Question mark?
Korenev hates it, just immediately starts shaking his head.
Korenev just threw up in his mouth. That's literally what just happened.
Doesn't even have 1 diamond out there.
And not enough there for Korenev to get rid of. And he's going to be looking for an ace and an ace only, or else he'll be our 4th place finisher as Kenneth O'Donnell looks to reduce this thing to its final 3 players.
I'm going to bed. I'll see you later.
Oh, White again leaving just as he did on the previous showdown.
You're pushing me. You got to go, Patty. You got to go.
I'm walking in front of the camera.
Korenev pulling out all the stops, putting the sunglasses away, grabbing the backpack. Can he find an ace? So far, nothing there. 3 outs for the Russian. Roman Korenev about to be our 4th place finisher. It's a 3 on the river, and we are down to 3. Roman Korenev collecting $118,000 for his 4th place finish. Kenneth O'Donnell, unstoppable.
Good playing with you.
Round of handshakes.
Well done, well
from
done.
Korenev. And just like that, we are down to the final 3 who are all guaranteed $157,000. Bring in Zipfel 1 step closer to breaking even on the summer. We heard earlier he needed at least top 2 to get even. So just 1 elimination away from having a successful 2025 in Las Vegas. We are approaching the end of this final table. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel.
All right, even money chop, guys.
Yeah.
Let's gamble.
Let's go 200. Each person will play for the rest.
Mullen.
All of it. Or we could just do that every hand.
O'Donnell all in
He can
here
do that.
again.
I don't know if that's in my budget.
This time with King 5. Nothing there for
I'm only going to look at one
the man
card.
who goes by Little G, and White finds Ace King.
Everybody.
Hopefully it's a small
Oh,
one.
shit.
Patrick White about to be
Which one did you look
the
at?
ace of diamonds.
a real contender again.
And then I
said
flipped up to the other one.
Nice.
1,
I think
2,
it's-
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Nice hand, everyone. There's no way the 5 comes.
With the way O'Donnell has been running, Donnie, we're probably a favorite to see a 5 here.
Well, we're getting 2 spades for sure.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be a sweat of some kind. Ace in the window here, and 1 spade behind it. But now,
Wheel draw.
the most creative way to perhaps reduce this field to his final 2 players. A wheel draw for O'Donnell.
$64,000.
A 3 would bring this thing to heads-up play. And there's the spade draw.
What a 6? No, 6. Any good?
12 outs for O'Donnell.
6, 7, no.
Is White going to be our 3rd place finisher?
Did you even
Will
call
the
it?
O'Donnell run continue?
This is sick. This is sick.
River card is the spade.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Patrick White eliminated in the 3rd place. Kenneth O'Donnell
Way to go. Take it down.
cannot be
Let
stopped.
this guy run you. Don't let him run you over.
And Little G
You are a beast, dude.
back in the green.
Yeah, make sure you got him covered.
Patrick White takes home
You
$157,000.
got me
They're
covered?
just
You got him covered.
$211K guaranteed for the final 2 with 286 up top for the champ. What an absolutely insane final table this has been, and we are now heads up. O'Donnell versus Zipfel. We're taking a short break to get set for heads-up action, placing the trophy on the table. Please make sure to stick around. This break is going to be short. It's going to be about a 6-minute break, I'm told, to get us ready for heads-up play. And then the question is, does Little G have anything in him to stop O'Donnell from winning this? We'll see you guys in about 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Once again, shout out to everyone who's tuned into our stream tonight. One final time, please. Hit subscribe on the Venetian Poker Live channel.
Yeah. Just give me the pot every time.
Expand our reach. Make sure everyone knows about this game. This massive game happening every Saturday on the Venetian Poker Live channel and on PokerGo.
And, right, if there's any millionaires or wealthy people, affluent people that want to come play, JRB said, look, you show up here with 50K, 100K.
How many raises are you going to make?
Maybe we can get you in the game.
You can DM me on Twitter or find a way to contact Venetian Poker Live on social media. We will pass along your contact details to JRB as we see
You're ahead.
a massive pot building here. Brittany all in for 37,600.
We can't even plug the channel.
No. We go 2K, 11, 27.
Today I'm very lucky.
And now we are all in
Don't mess with Brittany, bro.
77,000.
Always the queens.
Queens for the queen.
Running it twice. King 7-6.
We're doing it twice.
Shot here
please
for
don't put the 8 out there.
JRB.
Please don't. No 8, Brittany. Please, no, just no 8.
Jack of hearts is okay.
9 on the turn. Additional
No
outs for
8,
JRB.
no 9, no 10. Okay? No 8, 9, 10. No
he's
8,
lying.
9, 10.
Don't believe him.
No, come on, don't do that to Brittany. She's so lovely.
River card. The 6 of hearts.
That's a really, really bad card for me.
Lots of
Really
JRB's
hard
outs
card.
being mixed there. The 6-7, 2
Hearts,
hearts,
two
a
hearts.
9.
Squandered.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, second board. Oh, look at this. 7, 8, 4.
Every hand's
Now you got a chance. The sixes.
Jack or a 6
Oh, my
now.
sixes.
sixes are
Oh,
gone.
JB to split it.
no.
6 outs.
Jack's dead.
Jack's out.
No jacks,
You
though.
can hit a jack.
We're all wild.
Lots of jacks left.
can
Lots
have
of
a jack.
jacks. Lots of jacks left.
Three of spades,
Lots
not
of
gonna do
jacks
it.
left.
Okay, chop it.
Put like a
How much, Brittany?
black 4.
All right, river card. The 10 of diamonds.
Needle.
And Brittany
What
is going
a
to double
needle.
through JRB.
He's gotten a
Not
couple
even
small
my
bluffs
worst
through,
quiver
but
on
now
that.
he's got a real hand.
Messed that game up so badly. Can't believe I didn't call Peter with an ace there. That was crazy.
And Isaac looks interested.
但射了勾我们不是大概率更没勾
You
了
had a。spade block.
I had 9 that hand.
没想到
I had 9 that.
而且我
I had a
我
spade
发现
block.
拿不到你的。
And JRB in the straddle with ace queen of diamonds makes it 15,000.
Those blockers don't mean shit to me.
Oh, baby. Peter with that look in his eyes,
They got the flush. They got the flush.
like I'm coming after
The
you.
full house.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'll give
So what else you got left there, JRB? Because I'm going to put it all in
33.
there.
33.
The excitement from Peter here.
King Jack, huh? Okay, okay.
That's
King
30.
Jack up.
Peter being a little meticulous here with his bet
God
size.
dang it, really?
What's in?
Dang.
32,000.
Peter-
Easy one for Isaac here.
Peter just gets the action, doesn't he?
JRB knows he's...
He
He knows he's putting it in. He doesn't know how good he is.
Why, you have a big hand? Yeah, obviously.
Nice.
All right, running it twice. 100,000 in the middle.
Ooh, I know.
JRB versus Peter.
What are you gonna do?
Okay.
It looks worse than it
Nice
is.
hand,
JRB does have a pretty good hand here against kings.
All right, can JRB find an escape here to get his money back?
Yeah.
First flop, let's see it. And there's the diamonds.
Wow.
When
King
you
of
run it
diamonds.
twice, you always want to win the first one, Remco.
Yep.
That's not good, too.
Not at all.
And there's the diamonds. Peter looking for a king or a 4 to make a full house. Otherwise, JRB will be free roll on this hand.
4. Come on, make it fun. Fun for the viewers. 4. Oh, unlucky, unlucky. Unlucky.
He's needling as he wins.
Hayo ace.
No, it's.
Hayo ace.
You said ace.
Hayo means
Can he do
still
it twice?
Aces. That's what he said.
Yeah.
There's still aces.
Jack 8-5, 2
Chopper
clubs.
good. I'm very happy. Gao Xing with the chop.
Chopper.
Chopper Gao Xing. Chopper Gao Xing.
Diamond.
Happy with the chop.
Ace!
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
come on, dealer. What's
Oh,
this?
man.
Bullshit. Okay, never come back Venetian again. The host of the game, that's how we run.
JRB with the miracle pull
Unlucky, unlucky.
How's that
wins 2 boards with
What
ace
happened
queen
to
versus
JRB of old
kings.
that used to always get all the bad beats? Now
Oh
I'm the
my
lucky
God.
fucker.
We got ace 3 of clubs checking in the straddle, so there's a lot of formidable hands here going to the flop.
But it's quitting
Is there a quit button in there?
Jack 7-6, PP flopping the nut flush draw. We got Isaac bottom end of the open-ended. Jack top pair for Nick. Once again, lots of customers here potentially.
Yeah, multi-way pots. You got to just tread carefully. That's my best advice. Tread carefully.
Well, no care enacted as PP makes it 13,000 immediately. Action back on Isaac.
So here, Isaac, when he bet on the button, it's like, yeah, I have an up and down straight draw. You have a 5 high. Maybe I just want to try to win the pot. But when you're up against all these people and you don't have much else to go with it, you might just want to have checked. But he gets check raised here, and now he's going to see the turn. And he's got decent equity, but he's not going to feel comfortable unless he...
Welcome back for the conclusion of the $1,600 Ultimate Stack. $286,000 up top. Ken O'Donnell in the driver's seat to take that big prize down as Jason Zipfel, known as Little G, has secured himself $211,000 for second. They're playing for $75,000 and the trophy. My name is Remco Rinken, Donnie Peters alongside me in the booth. There it is. The newly redesigned Venetian Poker Live Lion with the wings. Better collect those because that is a staple trophy, and it is much heavier and bigger than you might think, and it's on full display here on the final table. Donnie, can Zipfel make a comeback here, or is this thing over?
I mean, it's never over. One double up and he's right there. He doesn't have that many big blinds to work with, so he's going to need to get to work very, very soon. And how about this? Great start with the ace-queen suited.
It's going to take a few double ups for our short stack, but might as well start off with ace-queen suited.
Well, it's not going to be one hand. That's it.
Thank you.
I had a very good 6.
A very good 6.
Very good 6.
A 6 and a 5.
That's
Wow.
the best
Wow.
Oh, a soul
I'm
read.
really glad I bet you off of that one.
Once again, if you're enjoying the coverage, please smash the like
Don't worry
button.
about it.
Subscribe to the channel. It's
What's
been
that?
Don't worry about
a
it.
fun final table.
Yeah.
Hope you all enjoyed the coverage.
Watch your pitch, boy.
Ken O'Donnell,
Watch
real
your
estate
pitch.
investor
I didn't see it,
and
but it was
poker
kinda
pro
flying. It was high.
out of
It was
St.
high.
Petersburg, Florida. Jason Zipfel out of Pittsburgh, PA, mechanical
That's how many
engineer,
chips he
also
has. He
known
doesn't
as
even have to
Little G.
Hold on.
O'Donnell.
10.
King Jack. Gets it done, and it's going to be a back and forth shoving match until
we're even heads up.
Zipfel finds a way to double
I
up.
can keep a notepad if you want.
What a mountain there for O'Donnell. 45 bigs versus the 8 bigs of his opponent. Blinds now at 600K and 1.2 million. I'll say it again. This one had a $1 million guarantee. $2.5 million in the prize pool.
Crushed it.
Absolutely crushed it. A lot more action still to come inside the Venetian poker room. Follow us on all the channels to stay up to date on all the latest daily tournaments, around the clock cash games. Oh, we get some change there. As we mentioned earlier, we got a cash game coming up on Wednesday. 100, 200, no limit. Lineup is TBA.
You're up 600K.
You'll see it up on all the socials.
Come on.
All of it.
O'Donnell, 9-7.
Come on, man.
Picks the right time.
You beat that.
We were flipping, roughly.
Zipfel desperately looking for some cards. No chance but to give a walk here.
On.
O'Donnell all in with deuces. Zipfel 8-6 offsuit, down to just 3.6 million behind in
Really
the big
bad
blinds.
hand.
I mean, almost having to call here, it seems. He's got 2.4 million in there.
I mean, it feels like it's this hand or the next one. I mean, it is connected enough that you probably just have to put it in.
Does decide to let it go, and now
Oh,
he is
gosh,
basically
probably shouldn't have called with anything.
completely committed to the very next hand. Only 3.6 million left for Zipfel, who has made a miraculous comeback in this event. He was 7 of 7, 6 of 6, 5 of 5, 4 of 4, 3 of 3, and now he is 2 of 2. My math might be slightly off there, but
Yeah, at least he's even for the summer.
he's even for the summer. Yeah, he had to get second for those just tuning in. He had to get second to get even on what has been a disastrous summer for him. But Zipfel is about to do at least that, and now he's all in with 8-5. Donnie, 8-6 in the muck, 8-5 in the middle.
Good luck.
I mean, he was going with, I think, 99% of hands on this one. You can't wait to get the big blind once again.
Jack 4, an iconic hand in the world of poker. Will it be the one delivering Kenneth O'Donnell victory? O'Donnell's been unstoppable. Will he close it out? I see a 4 in the window. Zipfel looking for an 8 or a 5, or else he'll
Any
be our
straight
second
cards
place
in there,
finisher.
like, what is it, 6 or a 7 maybe?
A little backdoor straight action
7.
potentially. Turn card. The 7 of spades.
Oh my goodness, it's meant
I
to
was
be.
calling him. Now you're calling
We
him.
do get some
It's meant
additional
to be.
outs.
You can call your card. Call it. No, what do you want?
10 outs for Zipfel to stay
something.
alive.
Just pair the board.
All right, pair the board. Pair the board for the guy.
You can't root for it.
O'Donnell, 1 card away from victory. The river is the Jack of clubs.
Good
O'Donnell
play.
ends with 2 pair.
Thank you.
The guys shake hands, and Kenneth O'Donnell takes home the top prize of $286,000.
These
Jason
guys have been running all night, right?
Zipfel.
They were in here last
We'll
night.
go
they
back to
moved
the
over
cash
there.
games with some new ammunition.
Probably a
The
decent
man who
size
goes
to
by
play.
Little G is now, even for the summer, unbelievable. What a run from him.
Very
Who's the short
nice.
stack for the majority of this final table, but ends up collecting a massive, massive payout as we look at the final standings of this event. We lost Qing Liu in 7th place, and you can see the other players, including Joe Serock, who busted after a 2-hour 5-handed battle after having held the chip lead for the majority of that stretch. I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. My name is Rem Karinkama, Donnie Peters alongside me in the booth. Stay tuned over at Venetian Poker Live for more upcoming tournament final tables and cash games. For now, we'd like to sign off and hope you all have a terrific rest of your Sunday night. And there it is, a look at the champ who will take home the trophy and, as I said, that top prize of $286,000. What a wonderful way to end your trip to Las Vegas. Might need to get some extra luggage there for that trophy. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you at the next one.